This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
What's a Super Bowl? I have no clue what you're talking about. Shelly, these nuts, Warlord, good evening. Oh, you mean the Rihanna concert? Yeah, you've got to love that I'm like, Super Bowl, I don't know what you're talking about, as I come on with a troll head that has a football helmet on. I'm just trolling. What up? We got shit to talk about. That news be doing a lot of shit. Some sort of sports ball thing. I was listening to Rihanna a few minutes ago. Really enjoying it. What's up, Taxman? How are you? Good evening. I was just talking about the Rihanna concert that's going on. Might get a little high. Simp, good evening. The dream to me is that one of the most viewed spectacles, events, TV, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is on right now, and there's still people in my chat. My chat is still hopping. That makes me feel good. That's the dream to me. There are a lot of people watching me instead of the Super Bowl, and that's fucking cool. So welcome. I'm going to try to make it worth your while. We're going to find out what that news be doing. I've lost count of how many UFOs we've shot down. Steelers is a fucking idiot. Shouldn't you be watching football? Why are you in here? They cloned Damar Hamlin. God, you're an idiot. Like, Buddy, have you seen the shit they've cloned? You think they can clone a whole fucking person? Jesus. China cloned a cow, what, a couple weeks ago? Wants to be double teamed by Damar Hamlin's. Oh, shit. Definitely not high enough for this shit. There's a whole bunch of UFOs. There's a whole bunch of UFOs in the sky. Another one was shot down just a couple of hours ago. So we discussed this on Thursday, but multiple objects have been found in the sky since then. We're going to talk about all that. Plus, we're going to update you on a story from a few weeks ago where Matrix-like lights appeared in the sky over Hawaii. The Air Force said it was NASA. NASA said it was NASA, but apparently it wasn't NASA. It was Chinese. I saw Matt Walsh is like convinced it is aliens. Again, there is life out there. We can't be the only planet where there is life. But they ain't nothing that can stay alive long enough to make the trip from solar system to solar system. That's the issue that we have with aliens visiting us. Just want to point that out. The new Roseanne stand-up comedy special dropped. We're going to hear from her on Tucker Carlson. We're going to watch a little piece of her special. Spoiler alert, you've heard all her jokes. You've probably seen people share them out on Facebook with minions on them. All of her jokes are minion memes. I would be remiss if I didn't give you a Super Bowl related story. We've got a millionaire from Michigan who is running $200 million worth of ads during the Super Bowl. So what is that, like a minute ad? That'll get you like a minute on the Super Bowl. The documents in the Jeffrey Epstein case set to be unsealed. Apparently we got a lot of salacious shit. I hate talking about Elon Musk, but this one amuses me. Apparently Elon thought that his tweets weren't getting seen by enough people. Engineers told him that the reason why was because people were tired of his shit and his antics aren't amusing, and that's why people aren't engaging with him. He fired them. Then got himself some engineers that would tell him the reason that he wanted to hear. Plus, we're going to hear from Steve Wozniak. Do you know Steve Wozniak? One of the founders of Apple, IBM, whatever it was. He's the inventor of the GUI. He was the brains behind modern computing. He thinks Musk is a fraud. Because Musk is a fraud. I'm going to tell you about 300 Tuscaloosa, Alabama area high school students that walked out of class. I'm going to take you to Austin, Texas, where a clown man nominated himself. City council? A clown man. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, one of the rising stars in the Republican Party, said that her family had fled the Holocaust. Turns out that's not true. Grandfather was a Nazi. So maybe they fled Germany. Maybe that's what she meant to say, that they fled Germany post the Allies freeing the Jews, liberating the concentration camp. Perhaps they fled Germany then, and that would explain how she ended up with a Latina name. It's Sunday, so there were people on the morning shows. We're going to hear from Governor Chris Sununu, who apparently can't define woke. Because of course he can't. I think George Stephanopoulos confronted Representative Comer over his investigation into Hunter Biden's schlong. Trump lawyers turned over more classified documents that Trump had. I'm going to tell you about an officer who fell from a bridge. Dead now, so we got one more good cop. In Texas, some kind of bar fight with an off-duty cop ended up with a dude grabbing the cop's taser and using it on him. We'll get into that. In Atlanta, the cops have released video, body camera video of the shooting at Cop City of the protester. And surprise, surprise, they fucking lied. And I bet they got more footage too. Gonna take you to Hampshire in the UK. Warlord, we got a UK story here. This one is wild. We've got video of a guy being shot in the fucking head with a crossbow. Dude's still alive. People always want to say, oh, gun laws don't work. It happens in other countries. Dude got shot in the head with a crossbow and lived. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg upset over I believe it was an Obama official that wrote a piece about how there will definitely be more train derailments. This is following the train derailment in Palestine, Ohio last week. Does seem like they have everything under control. We're no longer in danger of the cars exploding. We're on explosion watch there for a little bit. Also going to take you to Nevada, where a pipeline is back in operation after a state of emergency was declared because of a leak. Wild video out of San Francisco where an explosion caught on camera. I've been dreading what the tally's going to be. And unfortunately, I have to report to you that over 33,000 people dead. Still counting. 33,000 people confirmed dead in the earthquake that hit Turkey last week. Plus, we're going to talk about all the UFOs in the sky, all that and more tonight on the Troll Patrol live. Who snuck in here? Clinically, thank you for the resub. Porg, my show is TOS. Guy Comment, I love you, so glad to see you. Clinically, did I say hey to you? Voodoo, love you, my friend. Simp going to drop a tadpole. Is tadpole in here already? Softball Saul, my friend, so glad to see you. Even you, Steelers. But Steelers aren't going to have 6 after tonight because they ain't even in the Super Bowl. I mean, Taxman, you would think it's the Transportation Secretary's job, but the Transportation Secretary's job is to be an advocate for private industry. Kind of one of the issues we have in this country. Transportation Secretary isn't there to help us with transportation needs. Transportation Secretary is there to take the call of any big business. Head of the rail lines wants to call up Pete Buttigieg, they get right to him. Oh, here's your meme, Super Bowl themed meme. The artist millennials really want him for their halftime show. Bitch better have my loops. Ooh, that was a good joke. Damn, check me out. That one had levels. Riri getting ready to shine bright like a diamond. I don't think we're anywhere close to the halftime show. Curiouser told me they had just kicked off about an hour ago. I'll watch it on YouTube later because we got too much news. News be doing too much. So we are going to try to get through this because Curiouser made burgers and they smell really fucking good. All right, let's talk about it. It's what everybody came for. UFOs. I just titled the segment Stuff in the Sky. I don't even know what's going on. We had an object that, what was it, Thursday night when Canada, I don't know if I talked about it, maybe it was on Friday when I talked about it. But I feel like we covered it on the show. There's a tadpole. Good evening, my friend. I was just talking about. I love you guys so much. There's just shit in the sky. I don't even know how many. I think 4. There's been 4 shot down since the Chinese spy balloon last Saturday. Maybe. I don't know. Let's get the update here.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. It has happened again today. Another aerial
and another one
down by U.S. warplanes amid bipartisan criticism about an absence of details regarding these incidents. The latest shoot down happened over Lake Huron following those over Canada's Yukon territory and off the coast of Alaska and the Carolinas. In a tweet, Representative Elisa Slotkin of Michigan said the object
Llama, good evening, my friend.
From the U.S. Air Force and National Guard. CBS's Skylar Henry.
Now, as far as I know, this is the latest one. This is the one over Lake Huron. This is a CBS News hit from like probably the 6 o'clock news. We are talking about the one that happened in the last couple hours, but who knows if they've already spotted another one.
Tonight at the White House, where officials there are responding. Skylar, good evening.
Hey, Jerika, good evening to you. 4 takedowns in 8 days. It's the latest in a series of responses to those unidentified.
Okay, so are we counting the
floating over North
balloon?
Officials on both sides are demanding more details, as other officials say that the objects were smaller and didn't closely resemble the Chinese spy balloon that was shot down earlier this month.
Aurelio, good evening.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau doubled down on his decision to take out an unidentified object over the Yukon on Sunday.
Now, I believe, while Trudeau gave the order, I do believe it was the U.S. military that carried it out, so he took it down. Now, come on, Trudeau. Don't take credit for shit you didn't do. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Saturday.
It represented a reasonable threat to civilian aircraft, so I gave the order to take it down.
U.S. and Canadian forces are now in recovery mode, piecing together several objects that American fighter jets shot down. The U.S. downed an aerial object the size of a small car on Friday over Alaska. It landed on sea ice, and crews are still working to get answers on who owned it and what it was.
The predominant concern by the president was a safety of flight issue at that altitude.
Lawmakers.
What is up with Kirby? He's heard that mustaches are back in style, and he's trying to grow a mustache, but it's a very, very thin one. Staying close to the lip here.
Altitude.
Lawmakers who were critical over President Biden's timing on shooting down a Chinese spy balloon earlier this month say while they're demanding details on who's behind the latest objects, they're pleased with the response.
I would prefer them to be trigger happy than to be permissive.
What's gone on the last, 2 weeks or so, 10 days, has been nothing short of craziness. And the military needs to have a plan to not only determine what's out there, but determine the dangers that go with it.
Officials are on alert, temporarily shutting down the airspace over Montana on Saturday after concerns of a radar anomaly near the Canadian border. Today, they said it was an unmanned object, which was shot down over Lake Huron. Now, senior administration officials here at the White House say that they have no indication that the latest unmanned object had surveillance capabilities, but they are not ruling that out. They also say that the object didn't pose any military threats to the ground.
Then why did we shoot it down?
Question. Skylar Henry at the White House tonight. Thank you.
Chucky Boy Schumer, the senator from New York, gave his thoughts on it.
After the United States and Canadian leaders gave the green light, U.S. F-22 fighter jets shot down 2 more aerial objects cruising over North America. After being briefed by National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer said on ABC's This Week they are now believed to be balloons, but not as big as the Chinese spy balloon downed the previous week.
But much smaller than the first one. Both of those, one over Canada, one over Alaska, were at 40,000 feet. Immediately, it was determined that that's a danger to commercial aircraft.
To learn more about the capabilities of the 3 crafts, a comprehensive analysis of the debris will need to be carried out. There are still too many unanswered questions, Democratic Representative Jim Himes emphasized when interviewed by NBC.
I have real concerns about why the administration is not being more forthcoming with everything that it knows. But part of the problem here is that both of the second and the third objects were shot down in very remote areas. So my guess is that there's just not a lot of information out there yet to share.
Considering the circumstances, the U.S. defense systems should be boosted, Republican Representative Mike Turner told CNN.
We don't really have adequate radar systems. We certainly don't have an integrated missile defense system. We're going to have to begin.
Oh, I might smell what's going on here. So the Chinese spy balloon was one thing. Then like fucking defense contractors are like, ooh, this is a good way to fearmonger. We can just put some shit up in the sky, shoot it down, and then we can ask for more money.
Look at the United States airspace as one that we need to defend.
Yeah, exactly, clinically.
James Comer told ABC he is glad the Biden administration is taking the matter seriously, but that there are bigger problems to tackle with China.
Their military continues to grow and expand. They're continuing their Belt and Road Initiative all over the world, where they're trying to create a dominant world.
Buddy, if growing your military and expanding is a threat to other people in the world, do you know the size of the U.S. military? And it is indeed a threat to other people in the world. China's military is a fraction of ours. They spend a fraction of the money. Now, they have increased spending in the last 10 years, but it's still a fraction of what we spend on the military.
Economy.
Comer was referring to China's controversial investments in infrastructure projects in several countries. Pentagon officials say the object shot down over Alaska fell onto frozen waters. They expect it to be recovered faster than the larger balloon downed over the Atlantic Ocean. Canadian forces are recovering the object shot down over the Yukon Territory. Veronica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
This is a stat from 2020, but you can see the difference in spending between the two countries. They're spending about a third of what we spend. I'm not good at math, by the way, so about a third. Where's my math?
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
By the way, we have about a third of their population. So if you were to do military spending per head, my God. Oh. Now, this is an interesting story that I found over the weekend. Vice reported on this. I did not know about this wall of green lasers that blanketed the sky in Hawaii, likely from a Chinese satellite, NASA is now saying. The National Astronomical Observatory of Japan has said that NASA believes the bright green lasers were likely from a Chinese satellite. You can see a picture of them right there, and that is Matrix fucking looking. Take the blue pill. You do not want awareness. Take the blue pill. Last month, a camera from a telescope on Maui Kea, I'm probably butchering that, Hawaii's tallest mountain, captured something eerie, a wall of green lasers visibly shooting across the sky. The light show, which has been described as resembling the green code from The Matrix, occurred on January 28th and was caught on camera, operated by the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. Initially, the NAOJ said in a YouTube video that lasers had come from NASA's IceSat-2 satellite, which maps and measures Earth's surface in three-dimensional detail to keep track of sea ice and forests. If it was IceSat-2, the lasers would have come from its advanced topographic laser altimeter instrument, which emits laser beams that NASA says are bright green on the visible spectrum. But on February 6th, the NOAJ updated the video's YouTube description with a stunning notice. NASA confirmed that its satellite was not the source of the green lasers over Hawaii. Rather, it was most likely a Chinese satellite. Hayes, good evening. So, shit going down. I don't know what all this means. Now, we've seen the escalations. I've explained what this has to do. Taiwan is the whole reason for this. We're talking about semiconductor manufacturing. China is losing the war on manufacturing semiconductors. That's why they want to retake Taiwan and reintegrate it into China, which could set off a war between the U.S. and China. But I don't see how there's any kind of a ground war going on, and neither of the countries is going to do anything to try to fight that's going to damage Taiwan. I just don't understand how an invasion takes place by China without destroying these high-tech prefabs that build these semiconductors. I got no clue. I don't know. Fucking shit in the sky. Is China trying to provoke us into something? Also, I'm cynical. I know about all the lies our military is told in order to up their funding. So, Are they putting shit up there just to try to get more money out of us, get more taxpayer dollars? My bowl's clogged. I'll have to work on that. I'd like to say more, but I don't fucking know. I know about as much as you guys know about it. I do know that I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken over the death toll from Turkey. My God. The teat of America. Reverse thread. It is one of those nights. Well, I gotta clean my bowl. It's a little clogged at the moment. But good evening, my friend. Marjorie might know something about those lasers. Speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, you want a Marjorie Taylor Greene meme? Might happen to have one handy. Marjorie Taylor Greene waiting in the Applebee's parking lot because the waitress cut off her $8 after $8. I'm sorry, I coughed into the microphone. I muted the wrong thing. I muted the video audio and then coughed right into the microphone. My apologies. I'm such a professional here. That's why the right wing's gonna hire me. I'm selling out in case you guys didn't tell, or in case you guys didn't see the video, or you weren't here for the stream the other night. Totally selling out. I'm going right winger. It does look just like her, doesn't it? That's one of my favorite flare robes, though. It's one of my favorite flare robes. Oh yeah, I was transitioning to sad story about Turkey. You watched that whole video? Reverse Thread was here for the entire segment. Reverse Thread apparently watched. I was going to tell you, like, yeah, it ended on your call. Why did you put yourself through that again? Aw, thank you. Aw, I want to hug you, Reverse Thread. I love you, my brother. Danzig, my friend. Good evening. The death toll is at 33,000. We are confirmed to exceed 33,000, and we're still counting. I believe we're beyond rescue efforts now, and it's all about recovery efforts.
Syria, where the death toll continues to rise, now topping 33,000. Rescue teams still miraculously pulling survivors from under the rubble 6 days later. The Turkish government has also announced arrest warrants for those they're holding responsible for thousands of buildings that have collapsed. Joining me is NBC.
Well, fuck yeah.
Who's in Gaziantep, Turkey. Gabe, if you will, take us there and the developments you've been seeing on the ground.
Hi there, Yasmin. Well, we're here at a search.
That's why it was so low. I'm sorry.
That really is going around the clock. This is what we've been seeing.
Justin, good evening.
Nearly a week, and if I step out of the way, you can see what's going on behind me. Now, this particular site, it is more of a recovery operation now. The search crews don't expect to find any more survivors at this particular site, but family members who have gathered here across the street have not given up hope. There are 3 collapsed buildings on this block alone. And as you can see, it is a painstaking process to go through all this. Search crews are still there. There's an excavator going through the debris, through the concrete, the rebar. Every hour or so, they ask for a moment of silence at another location just halfway down the block, where they ask for silence. They turn off all the lights and they try to listen to any sound that they can that might suggest that there is someone here still alive. But hope is fading somewhat, Yasmin. This has now been nearly a week since this earthquake. But still, as you mentioned, there have been miraculous rescues in other parts of southern Turkey. that is still giving these families some hope. Of course, the situation is growing increasingly more dire in North.
I got video of one of those rescues we're going to watch here in a second.
Group known as the White Helmets says that it feels abandoned by the international community, and the UN coordinator for relief efforts said today that the people of northwestern Syria rightly feel abandoned. So there's still a whole lot of need here, even as this search operation continues. Well,
you're the UN coordinator. You're the one that abandoned them.
As you're talking about what we're hearing from the White House.
Real Trump 45. You're a moron. Sorry, my friend. And you're talking about fucking COVID mandate. Yeah, go home. You're drunk.
Helmets, the UN as well, to reach that region more so by the international community. Are we hearing any efforts on that part?
Well, over the past 2 days or so, the UN did bring in 37 tons of medical supplies into northwestern Syria, but you have to understand, Yasmin, for the first several days following the initial quake, there was no UN convoy that was able to make it because the main road into northwestern Syria was blocked. That is crucial time that those rescue teams, the White Helmets say, was lost and prevented them from saving lives. What is so key in these types of operations, and I'll have my cameraman David Long zoom in so you can see just how painstaking this is.
Thanks, Dave.
These operations require specialized equipment. And here in southern Turkey, but more so in northwestern Syria, the White Helmets say that they could hear the cries for help. They just couldn't lift the debris to be able to save those lives. And that is
God, that's heartbreaking.
It's frustrating also for residents here in southern Turkey who say that the need was just so overwhelming, that the catastrophe was just so widespread that they did not have enough of those specialized search and rescue teams to reach portions of southern Turkey. So this is an ongoing situation right now. Again, now more than 160 hours past the initial quake. Now here in southern Turkey, again, the window of opportunity seems to be closing, but the frustration is mounting, not just against building contractors here in southern Turkey, who, as you mentioned, there have been 134 people detained that the government says are suspected of shoddy construction that may have led to the loss of life, the extreme loss of life. So certainly
we're not done counting.
Here has been more than 33,000.
Hold them accountable. That would never happen here in the U.S. What we had the condo collapse a year ago, year and a half ago. I don't remember hearing anybody being held accountable for that.
Confirmed dead so far.
We're going to be talking more about that later on in the hour as well, Gabe. Cannot imagine what it is like to be a rescue worker there, not having the tools you need to rescue the people that are crying for help beneath the rubble. Just an
What a downer, but let me hit you with like a little ray of hope. This was a teen that was rescued. They were trapped in the rubble. They were pulled out. You're seeing the video of the rescue effort. There you see the white hats that were referred to in the piece we just watched. I'm gonna go, but like, let's watch this drone video of the cracks. This is drone footage that shows the wide fissures of Turkey's deadly earthquake. That is just fucking unreal. So I assume we're looking at the fault line, right? So this is the area where two tectonic plates meet. I don't know shit about geology. Yeah, I'm assuming we're seeing the fault line right there. The damage from the Hatay province. Well, yeah, clinically, yes, you're right. That's a better description. That is the expression of the fault line on the surface.
Konuştuktan sonra internet çekmedi zaten. 60 lirada gelmedi.
But like, props to Turkey to already be like, well, there were some construction companies that were at fault in this because they did not build their buildings up to snuff. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, it looks like a scene out of a fucking disaster movie. Looks like what's his fucking name? James Cameron just dropped a bomb somewhere. Oh, let me give you another scene out of a disaster movie. Let's go to San Francisco. This is in the Sunset District of San Francisco. This video is going to show you the moment a house explodes. If it's going to play for me here. San Francisco District, Sunset District home exploded on Thursday morning. We'll go to K-Pix then, since CBS doesn't want to play me the video. A suspect has been arrested. Suspect has been arrested after the explosion. Facing manslaughter and drug Fuck, was he making meth?
Now. Developing news tonight out of San Francisco's Sunset District. Police arresting a man in connection with a deadly explosion and house fire that sends shockwaves through the neighborhood. Yesterday's explosion and fire killed one person and badly injured another. It also severely damaged several other homes on the block. Hello again, I'm Christina Rendon.
And I'm Greg Lee. Tonight we've learned San Francisco police have arrested 53-year-old Darren Price. KTVU's Jana Katsuyama live in the newsroom with the latest on this developing story. Jana.
It is developing, Greg and Christina. The arrest was announced late tonight, posted on San Francisco's Deputy Chief of Investigations and the Arson Task Force. He says the suspect has been booked for manslaughter, manufacturing drugs, and 2 counts of child endangerment. The sound of drills and hammers echoed down 22nd Avenue in San Francisco. Neighbors fixing broken windows and doors being boarded up after Thursday's explosive blast and fire at a nearby house sent shockwaves through the Sunset District and left one person dead inside the home. Chris, who lives 2 doors down, returned Friday morning from a 10-day cruise, shocked to see the destruction. Her own family's home of 30-plus years had just been remodeled. Now, the structure and fireplace inside damaged.
The tiles came out. They popped out because the house shook.
KTVU captured video of firefighters loading large cylindrical tanks into a white box truck Friday to transport evidence to the police crime lab.
Everybody saw the tanks coming out of the house. This is definitely something that's unusual to see come out of an actual residential structure fire, of any fire in any location.
Around 9:30.
I'm just going to go ahead and point out, do not cook meth in a residential area. One, it smells. You will get caught. It took an explosion to get this motherfucker arrested. Seriously? The neighbors didn't just smell what was going on. But 2, don't cook meth in a residential area because this might happen.
a.m. as the police evidence crew driving that truck was making a turn on Junipero Serra. They said they heard a hissing sound. The driver stopped the truck just across the border in Daly City, prompting a hazmat crew to respond with a robot and a temporary shutdown of highway ramps to 280 and the BART train overpass. Fire officials would not say what was in the tanks.
We are aware of what the substance is. The substance was evaluated in San Francisco County yesterday and this morning and deemed safe for transport by our hazmat and DPH partners.
Some people noted, however, as the evidence was pulled from the rubble,
American, good evening.
Tanks bear a striking resemblance to the tanks that are used to process cannabis, sold online in what's called closed-loop extraction systems, a method that uses carbon dioxide and reportedly lab-grade butane or propane to extract purified cannabis products.
Wait, the motherfucker wasn't even cooking meth? He was just making like fucking THC oil? Wow.
Fire and police
I guess he didn't know what he was doing.
An official cause of the blast. 96-year-old Bill Mason and his grandson Michael watched workers inspect their home that goes back 3 generations. A total loss, destroyed right next to the house that exploded.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be able to be fixed.
Many of those residents hoping for some answers in this case. Now, the deputy chief of the arson task force says that police are working on getting more details out. We are monitoring that right now. And he says that he wants to thank the ATF and the SFPD narcotics unit for their help in trying to make this arrest.
All right, our Jana Katsuyama live in the newsroom for us tonight with that update. Jana, thank you.
But if he was making oil, is that illegal? Or is like industrial manufacturing of shit like that in California still illegal? Like I don't know what the exact law would be. He's in California. That was San Francisco. Mergen says hella illegal, but I mean, you make like fucking like Sparkles used to make butter and shit like that. Well, I mean that shit was illegal for where we were. But in California, if you're just making butter, that's not illegal, right? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Like we're venturing on like commercial grade shit that you would have like a permit for. God damn. Oh. I want to touch on this one because this gets into us talking about infrastructure and our poor infrastructure in this country. Pipelines resume operations after a fuel leak that prompted a Nevada state of emergency. This is from today. I definitely see why. The pipeline has been leaking for days. Energy infrastructure company Kinder Morgan announced on Saturday it has resumed operations after a leak was detected this week in a California gasoline pipeline that supplies unleaded and diesel fuel to storage facilities in southern Nevada. Kinder Morgan spokeswoman Catherine Hill said in a statement that restart activities are complete for Watson Station's associated SFPP West and CalNev pipelines, and they have resumed operations. Hill said earlier Saturday that the company expects pipelines to resume operations this afternoon and begin delivering fuel to their respective market areas later today. The leak was detected on Thursday and had prompted Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo to declare a state of emergency overnight. The declaration allows the state to receive federal resources and waivers as it deals with the pipeline repair timeline and finds alternative fuel sources. Kinder Morgan's latest statement said the company had isolated the source of the release within our Watson station in Long Beach, California. Nye County, Nevada tweeted Saturday, systems are now coming back online and fuel should be flowing within a few hours. Officials cautioned residents against panic buying while service is being restored. Yeah, do not make a run on the gas stations. That makes everything worse. Foosball, you mean the Rihanna concert? Welcome, Battle Opossum. Good evening, my friend. There will be more derailments. This is a article written in The Lever. There will be more derailments. Apparently, Pete Buttigieg actually threw a fucking fit over this article. Pete Buttigieg's transportation department has not moved to revive an Obama-era safety rule that could help prevent future train accidents. In the aftermath of a fiery Ohio train derailment, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg's department has not moved to reinstate an Obama-era rail safety rule aimed at expanding the use of better braking technology. even though a former federal safety official recently warned Congress that without the better brakes, there will be more derailments and more releases of hazardous materials. And if you guys haven't been keeping up with what's been going on in Palestine, Ohio, I do believe residents have not been allowed to return yet. Can you give me an update on that, Sky Comet? You're close to there. Residents still not given the okay to return to their homes, but we are past the point in which we were waiting on an explosion of one of the cars. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. They did a controlled release of the chemicals on Thursday. Instead, transportation regulators have been considering a rail industry-backed proposal that could weaken existing brake safety rules. Most of the nation's freight trains, including the Norfolk Southern train that derailed in Ohio, continue to rely on a Civil War-era braking system. A Civil War-era braking system. Let me repeat that again. They were worried it was going to explode, Battle Opossum. It was insane. Warps. Thank you for being a freaking follower. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that one of the biggest events in television is going on right now, and my chat is hopping. You guys decided to watch me instead of Sporty Ball, and I love you for it. Department of Transportation's most recent regulatory agenda. Why? Isn't Sporty Ball a hell of a lot more interesting than me talking about Civil War era braking systems on trains? You guys are nerds. Most of the nation's freight trains, including the I already read that one. The Department of Transportation's most recent regulatory agenda, which lists all planned, proposed, and final rules, does not include an ECP brake rule. Exactly, Shelley. That's how they afford the stock buybacks. Hey, I'm gonna watch the Rihanna concert here in a little bit. I'm stoked for Riri. All right, I'm gonna hit the content warning before this one because whoof. This should be wild video. We're going to Hampshire in the UK. War Machine, good evening, my friend. We're going to Hampshire in the UK. This video is going to show up to the moment the guy gets shot in the head with a crossbow. Footage shows the moments before a man was shot in the head with a crossbow in Southampton. Maricel Melantine, 47. Went a little fast for me to be able to read it there. Oh, did it just end? Did Rihanna win you over with the show? Man, she's a badass. I've always been a Rihanna fan. So, Maricel Melantine has been jailed for 18 years over this incident. The victim was filming a time-lapse video from the shed roof which captured the whole incident. Rihanna won the Super Bowl. That's what I like to hear. He just what? That was point blank range. Just walked out like, oh hey, I got a crossbow. He looks happy about it too. Motherfucker over here looking like Cousin Eddie or some shit. Hey Clark, let me show you this crossbow. A fight ensued which saw Melantine repeatedly hit him. By being injured, the victim ran back into the house, locking Melantine outside. Police attended minutes later, and both men were taken to the hospital. Melody was arrested. Whoa! The crossbow bolt was lodged in the victim's brain. You can see the x-ray. So it was removed. Surgery was a success. You can see the crossbow that was presented into evidence. One more time. We don't actually get to see they've cut it out. We don't actually get to see the moment he gets shot. Does he shoot him right there? And he fights them off? Yeah, apparently he's okay. Back to the perpetrator with a hammer. Fucking shit. Dude is lucky to be alive. So just before 3 p.m., the victim, a man in his 30s, he was known to the perpetrator. He sat in the garden when Melody shot him at close range with the weapon. A struggle ensued, and the victim hit him with a hammer. He wasn't expected to survive, but neurosurgeons at Southampton General Hospital carried out a complicated and lengthy operation to remove the bolt. Wow! After he regained consciousness, the victim told officers he had unwittingly filmed the whole incident on his camera, which he put on top of Melody's shed to film a time-lapse video that afternoon. This had been recovered as part of a forensic search of the garden. The victim still has issues controlling his left eye and his right elbow, which was dislocated during the incident and also requires surgery. So on Friday, Melody was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Well, that happened. I'm still this x-ray picture. That is fucking wild. We're coming up on commercial break, so let me go ahead. We'll do some cop stories when we come back. City of Atlanta has released body camera footage of the killing of an activist who was protesting Cop City. I'm gonna take you to Texas, where a man grabbed a cop's taser who was apparently off duty. The cop was off duty. So I think there was some kind of incident between the two of them. Police officer fell from a bridge and died from his injuries. We're gonna get into a little politics. Trump turning over more classified documents. DOJ accusing Trump of not cooperating. ABC News confronts Representative Comer over his investigation into Hunter Biden's schlong. Asked him, well, you're going to do an investigation into Jared Kushner's schlong. I'm going to show you a Republican governor who was asked to define woke and could not. I'm going to tell you the story of Anna Paulina Luna, the newly elected representative from Florida, who said her family fled the Holocaust. Turns out that was a lie. Her grandfather was actually a Nazi. Oh, goddamn. I'm going to show you a clown at the Austin City Council meeting. Elon Musk was upset about his reach on Twitter, asked some engineers why it might be. Those engineers told him that people were tired of his shit. He fired those engineers. Plus, we're going to watch a little bit of Roseanne's new stand-up comedy special. I'm very much looking forward to it. Even though you probably won't be. You're probably going to, like, roll your eyes. If you have a boomer parent or an uncle on Facebook, you have heard all of Roseanne's jokes from this special. Plus, they're going to be releasing the unsealed documents from the Epstein investigation. If you missed your meme of the day, you're just joining us. The artist millennials are really wanted for the halftime show. Bitch better have my loops. If you are not subbed, you're going to get the commercial breaks on Twitch. We play them all at once, just a 3-minute break, and we'll be right back. If you are subbed, I'm going to stick around with you. I'm glad to know that I had a friend who kept calling it a cover of an Eazy-E song, because there's an Eazy-E song called Bitch Better Have My Money, and I'm like, it's not a cover, dude, it's just a song that has the same title. He's like, no, I thought Eazy-E's version was better, and I'm like, it's not the same song. It is a completely different song. I still don't know, because he's really stupid. So I'm not exactly sure if he was fucking with me or if he meant it. Maybe a little of both. Who knows?
Hey, Justin, are you trolling?
This is one of my former best one of my former best friends. One of my former best friends. He, if you go watch old clips, he popped up a lot. Breed Creed was his name. I think I told the story the other day about how his wrestling name was Jason Creed, and our buddy talked him into we were high just sitting around one day. He's like, you ought to call yourself the Breed Creed. All the ladies want to breed with the Creed. And he ended up using it. Stupid man. Apparently he's dying now. Battle Opossum, you still here? Battle Opossum told me he's dying. He's got lung cancer or some shit. I hate that for him. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. No, I really do hate that. I don't want to see anybody die of fucking cancer. The wild part about that is he was the first one of us to quit smoking cigarettes when we were younger. Like, he quit when we were 20, 22, 23. I kept smoking into like my 30s. But he picked it back up, and all the rest of us quit and never picked it back up. He, as far as I know, he still smokes like 3 packs a day. So that could explain the lung cancer. Also, and it may not even be I'm victim blaming, right? So I brought this up when we had the high school libertarian that called in the other day. We live in Cancer Alley. The Appalachian region is Cancer Alley because of all the industrial toxins that are in our drinking water, in the water table, in the rivers and tributaries. All the fucking smoke and soot they put up in the atmosphere from coal plants, from hauling coal. You live out in Hawaii, don't you? I've seen your ocean. It's fucking beautiful. I've seen your ocean. It is beautiful. You can, because I went to Pearl Harbor. Oh, you live in NYC. My bad. Okay, that's different. You got the Hudson going on over there. Oh shit! Because I was gonna say the oceans in Hawaii are fucking pristine. Cause you go to Pearl Harbor and you can see that you go like they have a floaty thing over top, and you walk and it's got a glass bottom and you can see where they sunk you sunk my battleship. When Japan attacked us, USS Arizona. Thank you, Simp. I was trying to think of the name of it off the top of my head and I couldn't. I was struggling. So I just went with the battleship joke. But that's what you can see the wreckage because the ocean is so pristine. But Indianapolis is very industrial as well. As an industrial city. I haven't got to spend much time in Indy, but the little bit of time I've been there like a couple of nights. Bit of time I've spent there. I had a lot of fun. I went to a really cool concert in Indianapolis. Been to a couple of really cool concerts in Indianapolis. Speaking of concerts, the artist millennials really wanted for the halftime show. I won't do the joke again.
Oh, yeah.
Comrade Pepsi. Welcome, Comrade Pepsi. Thank you for being a freaking follower. Once again, I was kind of expecting to take a hit in numbers tonight, but you're all here. We're all having a party. I'm glad you guys did. And some of you joined me after the Rihanna concert. Totally cool. Totally cool. I understand it. I'll watch Rihanna on replay. I would do a reaction video to it, but man, the NFL, because like I did that as like a Patreon extra one year, and the NFL's like, nope, blocked in every country. Maybe Zimbabwe. You could watch it in Zimbabwe or some shit. Oh god. If you ever catch me on, I'm on like a late Friday or Saturday night. We're probably watching music videos. We watched several of the Super Bowl halftime performances the other night. We watched Tom Petty. We watched Michael Jackson. We watched NSYNC and Aerosmith. We watched Beyonce, and let me tell you, Beyonce was better than I remembered. Beyonce was awesome. I was like, fucking A. That was better than I remembered it being. My list goes Prince, Lady Gaga, Weekend, Beyonce, Michael Jackson. Then I'd actually give it to a band that, if I had to do a top 6, I'd give it to a band that I don't like at all. And that would be U2. Because they did the performance directly after 9/11. So it was like January of 2002. And they had all the victims' names on like this clear scroll behind them, as they did Where the Streets Have No Name. And it was fucking awesome. So I don't think U2 had jumped the shark yet either in 2002. The album they came out with right before that was pretty fucking good. Bugs, what's going on, my friend? So glad to see you. I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl. Somebody told me. Somebody told me the other night. I don't even fucking remember. The Eagles, because I saw Eagles memes. Okay, you got a question about climate change. Shoot. And then the refs. The Chiefs and the Eagles. The Chiefs and the Eagles are playing. Oh, God. Got a question about climate change. Where's my chart I was trying to find the other night? I got distracted. I was gonna show Jake the facts about climate change, and then I was like, oh no, wait a minute, let me ask you for a job. I need a job. Move me to Wisconsin. Relocate me. Like this week. That would be nice. I'm going to try to find my chart here real fast. And I'm going to move it to my charts and graphs folder so I fucking remember where it's at. Have we asked the question? So glad you don't have money on it. What's the... Is it a close game or is somebody running away with it? I could look this shit up. I've got the internet in front of me. I'm looking for this chart for climate change. It's just undisputable. Two data points. There they are. Thank you. Stats and graphs. Let's move it over here because I wanted these the other night and I didn't have them handy. Let's see. What's your question? Oh, it's a close game. Shit. Climate change question. What was it? Or should I just head it off at the pass and go ahead and show you the charts? Well, there's your first problem. Do not read a book by Bill Gates. He is a grifter. Bill Gates is an idiot. The distributing fine particles, is that where they want to shoot fucking... What's the chemical they want to shoot into the atmosphere? Chemtrails. Yes, Simp. They want to shoot chemtrails into the atmosphere. They're controlling the weather. No, there's some... It's not chemicals... it is some shit they're wanting to shoot into the atmosphere that will cause some of the sun's rays to bounce back or some shit. But like that sounds like nonsense to me. I will go ahead and tell you that we do not have market solutions for this shit. And there's aluminum something, yeah. There are so many people putting forward these, the technology can fix it. We can do this, and this. In order to try to avoid confronting the actual problem, which is industrial pollution, industrial waste. Why can't we just do it? We're not doing that. Like, it's bullshit. That's not a thing. We need to confront the actual problem, which is to cut. Bugs, like, seriously, Bill Gates is fucking horrible. Bill Gates is a horrible person. You probably shouldn't listen to him about anything. And we need to tax him out of existence. That's exactly right, Reverse Thur. Well, I mean, Jimmy Carter came into office. We need to tighten our belts. We need to not live on credit. We need to get off of our dependency on foreign oil. And the baby boomers didn't want to hear that. The baby boomers hated him for it. They wanted to party and do cocaine like it was like there's no tomorrow, so they elected Reagan. Morning in America. He's not a mixed bag. He's just a piece of shit. And he's always been a piece of shit. Because I can go back to like me and I've been bitching about Microsoft and their issues with being monopolistic. With some of the shit that they did to small creators. Yes, Reagan took the solar panels off the White House. It's still like I should write a book or do a YouTube video or something like Jimmy Carter was right about everything, bitches. Apologize to that motherfucker. Apologize to Jimmy Carter. Gates fucked up copyright. Gates fucked up a lot of the dystopia we're seeing on the internet and with computers now is a direct result of Microsoft's market interventions back in the 90s. He fucked up education. Even he admits he fucked up education. So Bill Gates, just a horrible, horrible person. My advice to you is put that fucking book down. Read something better. Read something by an actual climate scientist. Did somebody give me a good recommendation on a book for? I got one for you. What is it? The Fourth Industrial Revolution. God, that did that. Not Klaus Schwab. Fucking Vice did a fantastic piece. Klaus Schwab wrote the Fourth Industrial Revolution. That's not the dude I want. The Vice's is called the Third Industrial Revolution. I don't know. It depends on how you parse out Industrial Revolution. Who was this guy? Jeremy Rifkin. Social and economic theorist. Jeremy Rifkin. And his book is called The Third Industrial Revolution. It's from 2011. He also has another book called The Zero Marginal Cost. Read one of those. One of his newer books, The Green New Deal. Why the fossil fuel civilization will collapse by 2028 and the bold economic plan to save life on Earth. That's one of his newer ones. Read one of those. Or it's a little bit older, but read Tom Hartman's Last Hours of Ancient Sunlight. That was a fantastic book. Timp recommends The Age Revolution by Eric Hobsbawm. Begin Justin's book. I would love to do Justin's book club. Justin wishes he had more time to read. My God, Justin wishes he had more time to read. That's why, like, give me that job with those right-wingers so they can send me places on an airplane so Justin has time to read books. I don't like audiobooks. I actually like sitting down and reading. I don't, I mean, the problem, Simp, is I haven't got to read a book in goddamn forever. I reread Hitchens. That's probably the last book I read. I reread Hitchens. Letters to Young Contrarian. 2018, 2019. Josephus, good evening. And that's probably the last time I've actually been able to pick up a book and just read for fun. I don't have the fucking time. I went on a roll there when I was working at the TV station. I had a good bit of downtime. And because I'd have 2 or 3 hours, you know, where you're just on call basically as a production staff. Like if they need you for something, if somebody needs to come into the studio and do something. But most days you'd sit around without anything to do. And I decided that I was going to read what they call the Harvard Reader. There's like 100 books that if you read that, it's a Harvard education. A lot of them are U.S. history, biographical shit. Like the very first one is Benjamin Franklin's autobiography. So I read it, and then I read the Diary of God, I forget the dude's name. He's one of the first abolitionists. And it's like in the 1500s. He's advocating against, or maybe it was the 1600s. He's advocating against slavery before we're even a country. I don't even have enough time to listen to all the podcasts that I like to keep up with. And apparently the new Rachel Maddow podcast about fucking Nazis and our government or some shit back in the 50s. I like, that sounds interesting as fuck. Like an 8-part podcast. I need to listen to that. I don't get to keep up with like Intercepted. I really like their podcast. I listen to Tom Hartman as a podcast most of the time. What that news be doing indeed, Farquad? Yeah, let's get back to the news. My apologies. We went off on a tangent there. I thought I was going to have to correct somebody on climate change. But bugs came in good faith. But just in case anybody was wondering, I made mention of this the other day when we were talking to Jake. This is absolute solid proof. Climate change is occurring. This is the average temperature. How do I explain this? So this is the average temperature variation taking 1976 as a baseline. The variation in temperature between 1951 and 1980. This is that anomaly come June 2022. Man, I really don't know how to explain this chart properly. I'm gonna have to figure that. I mean, it's fucking stunning looking at it there, but I'm not sure how to explain exactly what it means. I'm gonna have to look it up again because this is just fucking clearest evidence. This is the temperature in 1990. This is the temperature in 2022 versus the range of temperatures between 1951 and 1980. And how much hotter it is. I made a meme out of it too. I can't find much. But Farquad's right. We need to get back to the news. Fucking terrifying indeed. Yeah, and that's the thing. My existence is just so hot. Well, thank you, Simp. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, how can people... Josephus, when I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, you knew for certain that you would be out of school about 2 weeks. You would have 2 weeks. There would be like a big snow, and then maybe there was a little snow that put a little more snow on the ground a few days later. It's somewhat anecdotal. But the weather was stable. We could, you know, your 2 weeks may come in January. It may come in February. It may just be 1 week on a mild winter. But, like, there was a pattern. You didn't get 80-degree days next to 30-degree days very often. Very often. I mean, it happened. But, like, it's the norm now. But I was explaining polar vortexes to our friend Jake the other night. But, like, if they hire me, if I'm going to work for them, fuck climate change. What are you talking about? Green energy tyranny. I'm selling out, bitches. Follow the money. It's people wanting to make fucking money off of solar panels somehow or some shit. I can't tell you who's making money off of green energy, but it's people making money off of green energy. Content warning. We're going to Atlanta, where the protests continue over Cop City and the shooting of a protester that was in the forest. Atlanta police released body cam video amid growing outrage over activists killing in Cop City. In Georgia, the Atlanta Police Department has released 4 body camera videos recorded during the deadly January 18th raid on an encampment of activists opposing Cop City, which is a proposed $90 million police training complex in the Weeloni. I'm sorry, I fucked up the native pronunciation, I'm sure. Forest. 26-year-old Manuel Estebas Piaz Terran, who went by the name Tortuguita, was shot dead by police during the raid. A private autopsy commissioned by Terran's family found they were struck at least 13 times. They were struck by 13 bullets. The videos don't directly show Terran's death, but the sound of the gunfire is clearly audible in the footage. Georgia State Patrol says it does not have footage of Tehran's killing because it doesn't issue body cameras to its officers. The Atlanta police footage shows some officers warned about the threat of crossfire and questioned whether the wounded state trooper was shot by another officer. It looks like he said, "You fucked your own officer up." Did they shoot their own man? Ulani, thank you clinically. Thank you for keeping me in check. The Ulani Forest outside of Atlanta. So my God, we have multiple, we have the militarization of police, the overuse of force, and we have the complete incompetence of the police all on display here. This story has everything wrong with policing in this country. Oh shit. Simp giving out the community sub. Thank you, Simp. God damn, I love you guys. We demolished that 69 goal. I don't know what to set the next goal at. 169? Do I set the goal at 420? I'm not big enough to go 420 for a goal. We set it at 99 for Luff Balloons. Oh shit. Police have said the engine. I wish I could get up to 420. We ain't that big yet. 420 is going to be our goal in like 2 years. Easelcat, good evening, my friend. Thank you for being a freaking follower. So glad to have so many of you here on a night when I thought I was going to take a hit in numbers. We hopping over here. We hopping. I guess maybe I'm one of the only people not talking about Sporty Ball. Police have said the injured officer was hit in the stomach by a bullet fired by a 9mm pistol purchased by Terran. Georgia's Department of Public Safety said it would not release the name of the trooper because disclosure would compromise security against criminal or terroristic acts due to retaliation. The video's release comes after a member of a community stakeholder advisory committee for Cop City filed an appeal claiming DeKalb County improperly issued a license for the project. Another committee member, Nicole Morado, resigned in protest of Terran's killing. Morado said de-escalation is possible and a family lost a child because all they wanted was to save a forest. That doesn't sit well with me. The city of Atlanta is still saying that they are moving forward with the building of Cop City. And you may be saying, Justin, where's the footage at? Well, it's not in that story. I gotta go to a different one for you. So, content warning. Be prepared to watch a disgusting piece of police incompetence.
Everybody activate their cameras.
Like an infantry squad, APD officers...
Exactly, Jeff.
They zero in on this tent right here.
This is the Atlanta Police Department. Please come out with your hands up.
And begin to rip it apart. No one's in it, but one officer is concerned about what he found inside.
Gasoline, anything that can be used to hurt.
As they continue their patrol,
I watched a piece on this. They're living in the fucking forest, dude. Of course they have gasoline. They have a generator there somewhere.
4 distinct shots are heard. Listen. And then dozens.
Is this target practice?
Officers appear to be confused until they figure out it's not target practice, and gunfire is close by. They take cover behind trees. They can't see what has happened and wait to get a clearer picture on police radio, and then they hear this.
What agency is that? GSP SWAT.
Is there an active shooter in the woods?
No active shooter. Subject is barricaded in a tent.
Barricaded in a tent. Barricaded in a tent. What are you talking? How do you barricade yourself in a tent? That's absurd.
Everybody activate their cameras.
Like an infantry squad, APD officers slowly move through these woods. They zero in on this tent right here.
This is the Atlanta Police Department. Please come out with your hands up.
And begin to rip
That
it
is
apart.
reverse thread. That is absolutely disgusting. The ad boiled down to comply now and complain later. Take it up in court. That's not the way it's supposed to work in a police state.
One officer is concerned about what he found inside.
Gasoline, anything that can be used to hurt.
As they continue their patrol, 4 distinct shots are heard. Listen. And then dozens.
Is this target practice?
Sickening.
Officers appear to be confused until they figure out it's not target practice, and gunfire is close by. They take cover behind trees. They can't see what has happened and wait to get a clearer picture.
Jeff, what's going on, my friend?
Radio, and then they hear this.
It was all the cops. They shot one of their own. They shot one of their own. They blamed it on a protester, and then they killed an innocent man.
GSP SWAT.
Is there an active shooter in the woods?
No active shooter. Subject is barricaded in a tent.
Absolute fucking bullshit. And they're still moving forward. Still moving forward with Cop City. It is disgusting. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It kind of made me sick to my stomach. It kind of made me sick to my. I might have to take a break here for just a second. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm JustinFREAKIN. I'm a leftist broadcaster and comedian, not liberal, leftist. And despite what you may have heard from right-wing propaganda, George Soros isn't handing out Soros bucks and funding people like me. There are no Koch brothers, Mercers, or any number of right-wing think tanks funding content on the left side of the spectrum the way they fund people like Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, and Dennis Prager. And YouTube doesn't monetize videos that are controversial or deal with politics unless you're someone like Steven Crowder. So this is an ultimatum. Become a patron. Support my Patreon, or I'm going to become a right-winger and get some of that easy money. You know for a fact that I could be bigger than Charlie Kirk or Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing!
All I have to do is talk about how I used to be an SJW snowflake, but the left went too far with their cultural Marxism, and Republicans are stupid enough to buy it, even though this video exists. And you know I'm right, so give me your money or I'm selling you out.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception,
conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Well, that was a first here on this show. My apologies for that. We're going to keep talking about cops, but I don't think the cop was on duty for this one. We're going to Texas. Man being escorted out of restaurant tases off-duty officer with his own weapon.
Welcome to KENS 5 Sunday morning. Thanks for starting your day out with us. I'm Vanessa Croy.
It is a super Sunday. It's always good to be with you. I'm Henry Ramos, and we begin this morning with the developing
It's a super Sunday. Let's talk about a cop shooting.
one. A fight involving an off-duty officer escalates to a man getting shot.
It happened just before midnight at the Twin Peaks restaurant off 410 and 151. Staff
Well, it's the Twin Peaks restaurant.
inside say the off-duty Somerset police officer was escorting the man out of the restaurant when he started resisting the officer. The sergeant on scene tells us that man grabbed the officer's taser and tased him. And then the officer pulled out his gun, shooting the man in the chest. Both were taken to the hospital, and at last check, that officer is in stable condition. As for the man, there is no word on his condition this morning.
There's a growing.
Wow. Let me take you to, I believe this happened in Colorado. The news station is out of Denver. Exactly where it happened. Apparently it is Fountain, Colorado. A Fountain police officer has been hospitalized for more than a week. Has now died. Died as of yesterday. Fell off a bridge.
Sunday on Denver 7. Coloradans seeking mental health treatment could have one less.
This isn't a video about the fall. I don't care about sporty ball. A Fountain police officer who has been hospitalized for more than a week after falling 40 feet from a bridge has died. Officer Julian Becara fell from a bridge in the area of South Academy Boulevard while trying to apprehend a carjacking suspect on the evening of February 2nd. Do we have a video? This is the cop. A picture of a good cop. Law enforcement and emergency responders held a procession to escort Becara's body from the hospital in Colorado Springs to the coroner's office. Funeral plans have not yet been announced. I love the way the chat is like, fry that piggy, great wings. So Trump's lawyer has responded. Oh my God, guys. I might have to leave you with this video. This is wild. This doesn't usually happen to me here on this show. Justin is not feeling good. Justin gonna make it through this show though.
You specifically represent him in the special counsel's investigations into
Correct.
January 6th and Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
All right, as you just heard, CNN and other outlets reporting that you handed over additional materials, pages with classified markings, a laptop, and a thumb drive over to investigators. Tim, Trump has been out of office for 2 years. Why do classified materials keep showing up?
You know, what has happened here that you've seen here and also in the Biden and Pence investigations is that the White House does not have proper procedures for handling classified information. And these documents, when they get packed up and sent out when people leave office, they do keep showing up, if you will. We conducted a search back in December, which is where we found these documents, and we turned them over immediately. These were not turned over last week, although the DOJ leaked it last week. This was turned over back in December. And so we have gone through, we've tried to work with the DOJ, we've tried to do searches of all the relevant places, and anytime we found anything, we've immediately turned it over.
And as we understand it, the laptop that was handed over, it had scanned copies of some of the pages that were handed over. We've learned that this laptop belonged to an aide from the Save America PAC. So why would someone from a PAC have access to classified materials?
She was working as an aide to the president, and this is a box that had all of his daily schedules from his time in office. And she scanned all of those as part of being available for future speeches or biographies or things like that. And after we did the search in December, and we found that within this box of thousands, that there were a couple of pages that had a little marking at the bottom, which we turned over. After that, we found out that she had scanned the box so that it would be digitized. She had no idea that there was any classification markings on anything. And as soon as we found out about that, we called up DOJ to let them know and immediately provided them access to it.
The president absolutely was involved in this decision. He ordered it at the recommendation of Pentagon leaders. He wanted it taken down, and they did that. They did it using fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command. The Pentagon will have more to say about the details of this later on this afternoon. It's only just within the last hour. We're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now. We do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know. We don't know. As I said, state-owned. We don't know if it's state-owned. And we don't understand the full purpose. We don't have any information that would confirm a stated purpose for this object. We do expect to be able to recover the debris since it fell not only within our territorial space, but on what we believe is
Wait, wasn't this about Trump?
So a recovery effort will be made.
Did it autoplay something else? Because I was gone so long. I'm sorry. Yeah, we started off with all the balloon shit. What was the deal with Trump? This is one of the bad parts about the fact that I wait until I'm on here with you guys to do these stories. Trump had classified documents apparently on a thumbnail or some shit. Get up there again. Me and Socks are gonna fight tonight. He was in my chair when I came back. The objects that have been shot down, the last 3 objects, were smaller than the Chinese weather balloon. They don't exactly know what they are. Yeah, we started off with the balloons tonight. Balloons? UFOs? We don't exactly know. I'm kind of stumped as to what's going on. Let's talk about Hunter Biden schlong. Let's talk about Hunter Biden schlong, guys.
That's why you're seeing more state governments ban TikTok, and I think that's going to continue a trend.
Let me ask you more about your oversight
This is Representative James Comer.
Looking at Hunter Biden and his financial entanglements with foreign countries, including China. I want to put up a front page story from the Washington Post.
They were here to get zoomed in pics of classified docs at ex-presidents' homes.
To the Saudis. After helping princes rise, Trump and Kushner benefit from Saudi funds, a $2 billion investment in Kushner's funds from the Saudis. We know the former President Trump's has also...
The balloons have definitely captivated the attention of America. Josephus, thank you for the sub, my friend. Damn, we demolished that sub goal. I love you guys.
Related to the Saudi golf tour, Senator Ron Wyden says these financial entanglements deserve investigation. Will you be investigating that as well?
I think everything's on the table. Look, we're investigating Joe Biden. We know that Joe Biden said during the presidential campaign that he had no knowledge of his son's business interest. He wasn't involved. He didn't benefit from them. We have evidence that would suggest otherwise, and this is very concerning. You know, Americans are outraged that China...
Your evidence is the laptop, is what you're saying.
Flew a balloon over the United States. Americans are outraged that China's trying to buy farmland. I think Americans would be outraged to know how much money the Biden family's taken in from China. And for what, we don't exactly know. So this is something we're concerned about, but we're also concerned about a legislative fix. You know, I don't disagree with the Democrats and their criticism of the previous administration. We have a problem here that needs a legislative solution. That's why this Biden investigation is so important. There's a legislative solution to this, and it can be bipartisan. The Democrats complained about Kushner's foreign dealings. Republicans are certainly complaining about
Kushner. I like the way he said Kushner. Kushner.
Yes, and it can be bipartisan. The Democrats complained about Kushner's foreign dealings. Republicans are certainly complaining.
All research indeed.
About Biden family's foreign business dealings. We need to know what is allowable and what isn't allowable. We need to have strict ethics laws.
Agreed, Josephus.
Significantly increase the disclosure laws in America. So
I mean, we laugh about it here on this show. Part of it is me being high, but part of it is it's just so fucking absurd. The news is so fucking absurd. That's why people come to me, the show with the troll head, to get the news. I told you not to get up. I told you not to get up there. Here's a Socrates. Hi, baby. Ow. Tried to yank my fucking headphones out of my head.
I think this investigation is going to be very important to fix a problem before it gets out of hand.
But to be clear, you believe that this should apply to Kushner and Trump as well as the Bidens at this point?
I believe that when we talk about passing legislation to set a line as to where you can be with relatives of high-ranking government officials with respect to doing business with adversaries overseas, then it would apply to everyone. We need to fix this before it gets worse in the next administration.
Game Boy 64, what up, my friend?
But obviously, we're complaining about the Biden administration. The difference between Jared Kushner and Hunter Biden is that Jared Kushner actually sat down and was interviewed. He was interviewed by investigators, so he's already been investigated. Thus far, Hunter Biden's attorneys, the president's attorneys, the president's White House, they're doing everything they can to block our investigation. Hopefully, the Biden family will be as cooperative as Jared Kushner with our investigation as they were with the January 6th investigation and all the other investigations of the Trump administration. So I think this is a problem. I think that there can be...
Wait a minute, I didn't get to see the video. Didn't the DOJ say that Trump wasn't cooperating? Didn't we just hear that?
Partisan legislative solution, but we can't get to that point until we know the extent of what the Biden family influence peddling involved, especially with respect to communist China.
Congressman, thank you. I think we only learned of the $2 billion Saudi investment from the Washington Post this morning, at least the details of it. But thanks for your time this morning. The roundtable's coming up.
Oh, God, these people. I wish they could feel embarrassment. It would save the rest of us a lot of time. But they are unable to. Now we're going to... Yes, Trump just handed over more classified documents. And the DOJ says that he is not cooperating. Oh, shit. We're going to go to CBS now, where a GOP governor says he opposes woke culture, can't define it.
You've been talking about trying to sort of remind the party that.
As long as we're talking about woke.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Republicans are about limited government.
Yeah.
You said recently Republicans are almost trying to outdo Democrats at their own game of being big government and having a solution and a say on everything. Who are you thinking of when you say that?
There's a lot. I think there's a lot of leadership out there that forgets.
Mox, good evening.
Principled free market conservative. Let the markets decide. So there's no individual per se, but there's a lot of leadership that says, you know what? When we're not getting that result out of a private business or a locality, we'll just impose from the top down our conservative will.
You're not talking about the Florida governor and Disney, for example.
That's a bad example. Yeah, that's an example. One of the many examples.
Ron
you see out
DeSantis
there.
may be running for president
Sure,
as well.
Yeah. Look, Ron's a very good governor. He is. But I'm just trying to remind folks what we are at our core. And if we're trying to beat the Democrats at being big government authoritarians, remember what's going to happen. Eventually, they'll have power in a state or in a position, and then they'll start penalizing conservative businesses and conservative nonprofits and conservative.
Bro, why are you a Republican?
Worst precedent in the world. That's exactly what the founding fathers tried to avoid.
We can fix that. Stop being a Republican. I mean, we ain't even Democrats over here, my friend. Right wingers are morons. If you're here, like, we're glad to have you. Lotta cool. Good evening. Somebody else snuck in here. I didn't like my fucking chat's fucking up again. My apologies. Mox, did I tell you good evening? See you, my friend. Yeah, Game Boy, stick around. We'll get you straight with the Lord. We'll get you straight with God around here. I mean, I don't know what you would agree with him on. I can we can save that discussion for another time. We can talk about what it is that you believe that the Republicans stand for.
And so I'm trying to remind my conservative friends about federalism, free markets, and being for the voter first, being for the individual. Do I like what every private business does? No. I hate this woke cancel culture. But it's a cultural...
What does that mean to you then?
Woke cancel culture?
Yeah.
The wall thing? Like, what do you mean by the wall thing? Gun law? What? They're against gun laws. Which has resulted in crime going up and shootings going up. The wall is... like, when you say the wall, what do you, like, Trump's proposal? Buddy. Illegals? Don't do that now. So here's the thing, my friend. I'm going to explain this to you. We don't see immigration in this country from other countries. What we're seeing is people fleeing. There is, like, I believe net immigration from Mexico has been flat for like the last 20 years, right? So what we're seeing now is... want more illegal immigrants. First of all, like, the people on the border that we're seeing right now aren't illegal, because seeking asylum is illegal, and seeking asylum is perfectly legal, and they're fleeing the results of U.S. foreign policy. If you read up on history of Latin America, you will see that the United States has been fucking with it for what, about a century? We had a policy of not involving ourselves in other countries' affairs for the longest time. And then what was it, the Monroe Doctrine? Is that what it was? Where, like, oh, well, we can involve ourselves in affairs that are in our own backyard, but we can't get involved all over the world. I mean, you saw that go out the window. So then we start in the 20th century. I mean, do you know what the, like, this is another one of those topics where, like, God, I have to teach a class. I have to teach a class on this. Do you know where the term Banana Republic? You did not find a guy who literally had 25 fake IDs. Game Boy, shut the fuck up. I don't, like, one, I do not believe your anecdotes. I don't give a shit. Like, what you're citing is what's called the myth of the welfare queen. Like, Ronald Reagan came out, was like, there's a woman that has 100 different IDs, blah, 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 blah. And she's collecting like $150,000 in government welfare. It never happened. He made that shit up. These people don't exist. This brings me back to the clip the other night. Like so much of what right-wingers believe hinges on the fact that they're misinformed. Let me hit you with this. This is one of my favorite things that's happened to me here. This was a caller we had the other day.
Well, specifically, if you're talking about certain means-tested welfare programs like food stamps, SNAPs, what happens is the benefits you get from government are more than could be earned if you get off of welfare, meaning you're incentivized to stay on welfare rather than get a job for yourself.
How much is food stamps a month? How a single person on food stamps, how much do they get a month?
Well, currently, SNAP monthly payment for one person is, let's say, $1,000, $869 a month. It's $1,800.
Now you can see my reaction there. I reacted to 1,000. I didn't even hear him follow up with the $869. I was just like, this dude's fucking stupid. Didn't even hear him follow up with $869. Where'd you pull that from?
www.snapscreamer.com. Snap eligibility.
The average monthly benefit is $126 a month. The maximum is $194 a month. You just said people can get SNAP benefits and get more than they can earn.
Yeah, SNAP and WIC are two programs.
Like, what else can you get?
Yeah, I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Because there's not. There's not all these government programs handing out money to poor people. This is what I'm trying to educate you on. So just so much of the right-wing worldview is because, like, you guys believe stuff that isn't true. I do want to point out that when I said the maximum benefit was $194, that's in the state I'm sitting in. I looked it up. In California, you can get like $250. $194 in my state. $250 in California. Because I want to be precise with my language. Because all I did was, look up how much you can get in food stamps, and like Google told me my state. So I wasn't thinking to verify that. Tones, thank you for giving out the gift subs to Game Boy. Well, I can definitely believe you're wrong. That's why you should hang out with us. Learn. But here's one of the things is I'm libertarian, my friend, when it comes to shit like this. I'm libertarian when it comes to immigration. This is my philosophy. I don't see any borders, do you? Obsessive Observer, good evening. Buddy, we'll get you on that leftist kick. Here's the thing. The reason I'm a leftist is because left policy positions are the cure to what is ailing us as a society. We've had 50 years of conservative policy. We've had 50 years of Reaganomics, of hyper-capitalism, and it's failed. So the reason I could see myself being a right-winger if we were to go too far in the other direction. There ain't no danger of that happening. So, like, the answer to wealth inequality, to crumbling infrastructure, you say I live in the best possible time to live, and I do say capitalism has failed. So, my generation is the first generation to not have a higher life expectancy in the modern era. You think the economy has gone to shit since Biden? Buddy, my friend. First of all, when we're dealing with the policies of to the extent that a president has an effect on the economy, it takes a couple of years. We're just now seeing the effects of the Biden administration policies, of the shit that the Democrats passed over the last year and a half. To the extent that they passed anything. I mean, we have the Fed chair that Trump appointed. We've been operating on a continuing resolution, which is pretty much the same budget that Trump passed in like 2019. We've been operating on that same continuing resolution. So to say that there's Biden policies caused this is just absurd. I don't think you know how politics works. Buddy, then fucking you should be happy Biden brought gas prices down for you. Yeah, you don't know what he did because you can't actually point to policy. See here, a lot of right-wingers want to bring up domestic production of oil, which is true. So pre-pandemic, there was a lot of small investment into natural gas and oil here in this country. We found several reserves of oil that we didn't know we had, and we've had advancements in technology that allowed us to be able to tap into that oil cheaper. And that's one of the reasons why we saw the investment into smaller companies pre-pandemic. Now, when the price of oil went negative during the pandemic, that drove all the small production out. So when we come back online post-pandemic, the smaller companies are no longer investing into this because it's not cheap, it's not efficient for them. Whatever, Game Boy. How'd you just now become a freaking follower? Wait, this is a different one. This is a different Game Boy 64. What the fuck? So yeah, the point of my stream is that I want people to not have strong opinions on shit they don't know about. So if you can't tell me what policies you can point to, if you can't properly describe the issues the way I, telling you about oil production and shit, then why have a opinion? Fair enough. You seem like you're open. Cutlass, good evening. Biden is weak. So if Biden is weak, then what was Trump for not detecting 3 balloons? I don't have opinions on things that you're not educated about. That's all I ask. I mean, I'll do my best to change your opinion, but like if you're gonna come in here, like, why come in and have preconceived notions? Good, we're getting bombarded by dipshits. I'm into it. It's the Troll Patrol. If you're not subbed, you might get a commercial break here. Yeah, you're gonna get a commercial break if you're not subbed to the channel. If you are subbed, I'm gonna stick with you. Clinically, Weird night. All of this is weird. I just know that I've been trying to get through this. I can have one of those burgers that Curiouser made a little bit ago. It's got some cheese and bacon on it. I think she made mozzarella sticks too, but they may be all gone. I may have sat too long in order to get mozzarella sticks. Clinically ready to bukkake on some chuds.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I don't know. I don't know about anything. Yeah, mighty cool. I'm proud of Game Boy for being here. We might win somebody over. The sporty ball might go into extra innings. All I know is that this show flies by, but I feel like if I was watching Super Bowl, it would seem like it takes forever. Enough for this shit. Anyway, very glad to have you. Very lively chat tonight for one of the biggest events in TV going on right now. Canada Ground Zero, eh? Oh shit! If you missed our meme of the day. It wasn't this one, but I'm going to show you this one instead. I've told Warlord that if, I see an influx of followers and shit, I want him to create a thread that's just like Discord as we have it now with those people. Got a comment. All laughing while I went and bought the Sam Smith outfit so cat girls would have a place to perch when they get tired. I've been all up on the Sam Smith memes. This was your Super Bowl meme. The artist millennials really wanted for the halftime show. I gotta ask you guys though, like, what is the deal with all these people talking about like the left are so angry about Christian quarterbacks? I keep seeing these people talk about, oh, the left's so angry. What the fuck are you talking about? Who was I didn't even know anything about these two motherfuckers. Have no clue who these guys are. But apparently I'm angry. You guys angry about these guys? They make shit up. Alice, what are you talking about, my friend? If NORAD can see these motherfuckers launch, then why did the Trump administration not know about them? Who the fuck are they, indeed? Also, like, for sure, I've got you a story about football. Don't worry. Had to work one in. We've got a millionaire in Michigan who apparently bought $200 million worth of ads, which I think is an ad, 2 ads maybe, 2 30-second ads. All right, so now back to the video we were watching. Chris Sununu tries to define woke.
You've been talking about trying to sort of remind the party that Republicans are about limited government.
Yeah.
You said recently Republicans are almost trying to outdo Democrats at their own game of being big government and having a solution and a say on everything. Who are you thinking of when you say that?
There's a lot. Like, I think there's a lot of leadership out there that forgets at heart, I'm a principled free market conservative. Let the markets decide. So there's no individual per se, but there's a lot of leadership that says, you know what, when we're not getting that.
What that means when he says let the market decide, let business decide what's best for you. I fundamentally disagree with that. I don't give a shit what the market decides. This idea that we have to listen to the market is one of the things that have fucked us up.
That result out of a private business or locality, we'll just impose from the top down our conservative will.
You're not talking about the Florida governor and Disney, for example.
That's a bad example. Yeah, that's an example. One of the many examples.
Ron
you see out
DeSantis
there.
may be running for president as
Sure,
well.
yeah. Look, Ron's a very good governor. He is, but I'm just trying to remind folks what we are at our core. And if we're trying to beat the Democrats at being big government authoritarians, remember what's going to happen. Eventually, they'll have power in a state or in a position, and then they'll start penalizing conservative businesses and conservative nonprofits and conservative ideas. That is the worst precedent in the world. That's exactly what the founding fathers tried to avoid. And so I'm trying to remind my conservative friends about federalism, free markets, and being for the voter first, being for the individual. Do I like what every private business does? No. I hate this woke cancel culture. But it's a cultural...
What does that mean to you then?
Woke cancel culture?
Yeah.
Oh, look,
because you're not a culture warrior, really.
No, but it's there.
What does that mean on your platform?
It's the divisiveness we see not just in our schools, but in our communities, where it is me versus you, whereas if you are not adhering to...
That's literally what you guys do. That is everything that comes out of a right-winger's mouth. It is like some kind of divisive rhetoric. He may be hungry. That could be it. I thought I filled his bowl up, but maybe he's already ate it all.
My ideals, then I'm going to cancel you out. It is us versus them. It's this binary where everything's a war. That's a cultural problem we have to fix in America, and it starts with good leadership, good messaging, more...
Tell your party to stop banning books. Tell your party to stop passing laws targeting trans children. This isn't hard.
Optimistic, but government never solves a cultural problem.
Okay,
we can lead on it, but we never solve it.
Interesting idea, but you are contradicted by the Republican governor of Arkansas who gave the response for your party after the State of the Union, who embraced culture war. She says America's in one.
Yes, we are.
She says it's being waged by the left wing, a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is.
That's absolutely right.
And are you going to engage on things like this, like Sanders and DeSantis has, in terms of issues on gender and issues of race?
There should be absolute leadership on that, about what that's about. And this idea that, you have to, we have forced language, that we have forced ideas on our kids, that we're going to force anything.
So you are going to be a culture warrior?
No, we have to talk about that. But
what are we forcing? History? History? I had a dude on a Christian page tell me that I was indoctrinated because I went to college. I'm like, dude, you believe in a book of mythology and you're telling me I'm indoctrinated. You have zero fucking self-awareness.
Government is not here to solve your problems. It's not. The government is here to create...
So a governor shouldn't be actually talking and engaging and telling school boards and doing things like this?
No. I believe that the government's only job is to solve your problems. I believe that the government's job is to build roads, is to provide solutions that the market's not going to provide to you. Kikyo.
Pass laws like they are?
I don't think governors should be trying to pass laws to subvert the will of the voters that know better than us. Voters know more than I do. The voters on that school board know. The voters in those towns know a lot more. And if that's the free market of politics, if they don't like the school board, they go to town meeting, they fire them.
You call yourself a...
That was actually CBS this morning. It was Governor Chris Sununu. What, New Hampshire? Is that where he's from? Yes, the Republican governor of New Hampshire could not define woke, but thinks it's a big problem.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm sure I'm sure if you fried up a piece of cauliflower, it's going to be good. Fry anything, it's going to be good. Speaking of frying, let's talk about the Holocaust. Weird transition. Sorry, I apologize for that one. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna from Florida. I've mentioned her several times, so keep your eye out on her. She is a rising star in the Republican Party. Congresswoman claims to be Jewish. Revealed to be the granddaughter of a Nazi. Luna's grandfather, Heinrich Mayhofer, died in 2003, served in the armed forces of Nazi Germany when he was a teenager in the 1940s. Florida Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna was outed by the Washington Post on Friday for lying about her Jewish heritage in a previous interview with Jewish Insider. Not only is Luna almost certainly not Jewish, but also, according to several family members, Luna's paternal grandfather, Heinrich Mayhofer, served in the armed forces of Nazi Germany. Luna had told the Jewish Insider that I was raised as a Messianic Jew by my father. I am also a small fraction Ashkenazi. The Insider had interviewed Luna in reaction to the fact that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, known for her Jewish space laser conspiracy, had endorsed Luna's candidacy for Congress. If she were anti-Semitic, asked Luna after claiming Ashkenazi roots, why did she endorse me? From one clown to another, let's go to Austin, Texas, where a Texas man dressed as a clown
Thank you for your comments.
nominated himself.
Next speaker is Alexander Stringer.
Nominated himself for Austin Energy CEO after a week of outages.
Speaking on item 39 and 81, followed by Jacob Henson.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I'm speaking in support of items 39 and 81 because there needs to be accountability for what happened. You and I both know this. My mother told me to dress for the job that you want to have, and that is why I'm here today, because I would like to be the CEO of Austin Energy. We need leaders who are aligned with our priorities, and right now our number one priority is fighting climate change. We need to get to net zero by 2030. And honestly, if we are ever going to achieve these goals, you shouldn't even be using power at all. Okay? Listen, just last month, I destroyed the gas stove that I owned in a fire that I started because I am firmly committed to saving the planet, just like you.
No. I believe this is a right-winger. This is a right-winger.
And I will show that same commitment as the CEO of Austin Energy. I have pronouns in my Twitter bio. I also have Ukrainian flags in my Twitter bio.
See?
And due to my extensive qualifications and the fact that my priorities are...
He's so based he came around the other side. What do they call that? Horseshoe theory? He's so based, he's on the other side.
...align so much with the city of Austin, as well as what I thought were past administrations in Austin Energy. I would like a salary between $350,000 to $500,000 a year so that I could support my lifestyle, fund my cocaine habit, and care for my wife who has stage 5 testicular cancer. I also...
It certainly had potential. I was looking forward to it. Oh, we weren't done. We weren't done yet. I'm sorry. It paused there.
I am 3% black, so not high.
Oh, goddamn.
who has stage 5 testicular cancer. That my priorities align so much with the city of Austin, as well as what I thought were past administrations in Austin Energy. I would like a salary between $350,000 to $500,000 a year so that I could support my lifestyle, fund my cocaine habit, and care for my wife who has stage 5 testicular cancer.
I had to get some transphobia in there too. It's still going though.
23andMe test and found out that I am 3% black, so not hiring me would be a literal act of violence. Anyway, if I could get a recommendation to be the CEO of Austin Energy, I would really appreciate it. Obviously, I'm the most qualified person for the job here in this room. Thank you very much, Mayor and Council.
Yeah, the horn at the end did it for me. The horn at the end did it for me. See, this was giving me flashbacks. I thought, when I did the story, I was pretty sure it was a right-winger, and then, like, not gonna lie, I was like, oh, maybe this is based. But what it reminded me of was this motherfucker right here. Do you guys remember Alex Stein? We played this on the show when it happened. This has been about 2 years ago.
Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Vaccinate your mom, vaccinate your dad, vaccinate the happy, vaccinate the sad, vaccinate your babies, vaccinate them, even if they got rabies, vaccinate my life, vaccinate my wife, vaccinate your DNA, vaccine created by the CIA, vaccinate your body, vaccinate me at the party, vaccination free. Vaccination freak a leak. I want the vaccine in my life. I want the vaccine.
Sorry, about a year ago.
I want to vaccinate you all day long. Vaccinate you while I wear my thong. Vaccinate me. Vaccinate who? Vaccinate she. Vaccinate her. Vaccinate them. Vaccinate my friend. I want to vaccinate to the end. Vaccinate me, pure L. I love you. What can I say? One more time. Vaccinate your mind. Vaccinate your body. Vaccinate your life if your vaccination party. I love y'all. Peace. God bless. Follow my Instagram. IG.
Is the Super Bowl over? Did the Superb Owl win? Chiefs won. Congratulations, Chiefs. Warlord says the game was rigged. I didn't even know you guys watched football. I thought you boycotted that shit because it's not the real football. Now, the reason I brought up Alex Stein there is because Alex has a new show on the Blaze TV. And it's going real well for him. He had on Gavin McInnes the other day. This is one of his first episodes.
Fucking phone.
No, do not talk to the audience. No,
That's
Gavin.
really
now he's breaking
rude,
the fourth
you know?
wall.
You're the studio audience. You're on your phone.
Okay, see, now we have to break the fourth wall. What people is not seeing is that.
Christ, sorry, I'm boring you.
Gavin, this
and
is
you
my
guys,
show.
Shut up.
Okay.
We can hear all your chattering.
Now we're going off the
Whisper
rails. All right.
Most annoying background I've ever been a part of.
Okay, Gavin we're gonna give him a hint of fentanyl and we're gonna calm him down a little bit. Things are
Shatty crew.
Yes, they do look to be in a UFO, so maybe the NORAD can scramble some jets.
I've ever been a part of.
Okay, Gavin we're gonna give him a hint of fentanyl and we're gonna calm him down a little bit. Things are
Shatty crew and the fucking phone bunch. Leave it in your pocket. You're at a show. You're part of the show.
I actually do agree with him. I think security
Holy
needs
shit, it's so disrespectful. Get off your fucking phone.
No,
Those are your fans. That's your own audience. Who came to see you two? Just wanted to point out how well things are going over at the Blaze TV. You know what? Let's take a detour. Something else. I actually forgot all about this. I want the shorter clip here. Let me see if I saved it on Facebook. I think I did. So, as long as we're talking about right-wingers crashing council meetings, school board meetings, let's talk about Matt Walsh. He decided to go, by the way, if any of you are unaware, Matt Walsh once called me a formidable voice in the culture.
JustinFREAKIN, a formidable voice in the culture.
He was being 100% serious when he said that. I'm sorry. Here's just because we need a break. We need a break from the chud. So here's Macho Man. Here's Macho Man being based. If it's gonna play.
Your middle name is Macho, but I'm wondering if you ever cry. Has Macho Man ever cried?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. It's okay for macho men to show every emotion available right there, you know, because I've cried 1,000 times, I'm gonna cry some more. But I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes and I've been everywhere in between. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's one guarantee in life, and that there are no guarantees, yeah. And understand this. Yeah. Nobody likes a quitter. Nobody said life was easy, so if you get knocked down, take the standing 8 count, get back up, and fight again. And you're a macho maniac. Dig it.
I think everybody needed that tonight. That totally fucking... It gave me a boost. That was Macho Man Randy Savage on Arsenio Hall being based as fuck. And what that would have been 89, 90, 91. And also looking amazing and sparkling. It was very sparkly there. Sorry. Now to Matt Walsh. So Matt Walsh actually got destroyed by the Tennessee State Legislature on Thursday or Friday. And I'm gonna let you see it.
Go to college, but I did go to school long enough to learn how to read, so I can read the data for myself, and that's exactly what I've done.
And for what purpose?
Lenny, good evening.
Conduct your research and use this brain of yours.
I use it for the purpose of trying to protect.
Does that mean Lenny was watching football? They just told me who won the sporty ball game just a second ago. That means you came in after the Super Bowl. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm gonna watch that Riri concert here in just a little bit. Very much looking forward to it. I'm gonna have one of these burgers that Curiouser made.
Can you give us a summary of your educational background or your healthcare education?
I didn't go to college, but I did go to school long enough to learn how to read, so I can read the data for myself, and that's exactly what I've done.
And for what purpose do you conduct your research and use this brain of yours?
I use it for the purpose of trying to protect children from being castrated and mutilated.
You don't use it to get clicks?
Well, are you using it right now to try to get clicks with this interaction?
You know, if you're going to come before a
Matt, that's exactly what you're doing right now. That's exactly what you're doing.
Use it to get clicks?
Well, are you using it right now to try to get clicks with this interaction?
You know, if you're going to come before a committee and make mischaracterizations and misrepresentations, it's fair game for us to ask you your educational background.
You seem to have started this, so you have no medical background, correct?
No.
You're trying to address good public policy, correct?
Yes.
I just have to question, some of your public policy. Singapore is able to have nice things in part because they execute drug dealers by hanging and arrest even petty vandals and thieves and beat them with a cane until they bleed. We don't have nice things here because we aren't willing to do what is required to maintain them. I kind of have to question your public policy beliefs. And you also stated there'd been no studies. Well, I'm sitting here holding a study from the American Academy of Pediatrics, suicidal disparities between transgender and cisgender adults and children. Before you state things, you may need to know all the facts.
On your blog, at about 16, you're an adult who's mature and can make decisions. You're that at 16. I don't care what anybody says, even going so far as to say when you're 16, you should be married and pregnant.
He's quoting Matt Walsh.
Is an adult in your view. Why does this bill have minor defined as 18?
I was a radio host 13, 14 years ago in my early 20s. It's also not an accurate reflection of what I actually said. I was talking about the fact that people tended to marry young historically, and that's all that was about. How does that relate to this?
To all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile. Recently,
disgusting.
Years or so, we decided that's way too young to start a family. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy, it's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society.
I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, and the group that I got this from, Tennessee Holler, fantastic Facebook, Twitter, go follow them. Let's talk about real issues affecting kids at schools. Go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Why 300 Tuscaloosa area high school students walked out of class. Some Tuscaloosa area high school students walked out of class Wednesday after escalating complaints about a Black History Month production and alleged racism at Hillcrest High School. About 300 students protested a school administration that organizers said had promoted psychological trauma among black students. Students claim that an administrator said their Black History Month event shouldn't mention figures before 1970. They claim that school officials denied. Students also said they knew black students who faced stricter school dress code and lower academic expectations. We decided that we needed to bring attention to some issues here at Hillcrest High School that school administration has failed to adequately address. This is according to Jemiah Brown, who said in a speech on Wednesday, claiming some black students at the school were targeted and punished unjustly without justifiable reasoning. We are disrespected, and the administration has created a climate of intimidation and bullying towards those that challenge authority. That's what I like to hear. They're kicking authority in the balls.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
We have video here. There's no video. Here is pictures from the event, though. Students walked out. Kids are all right. Always love to see activism alive. The youngins, right, and these nuts pops up just in time.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
We've got our resident scat man. We got our resident nut man now. We all come from nuts now. Damn wokes. Oh, shit. I hate talking about Elon Musk, but we gotta do it. Elon Musk said Twitter engineers fixed 2 significant problems that meant most of his tweets were not getting delivered. Elon Musk said 2 major problems at Twitter have been fixed after he spent a long day with the engineering team on Saturday. Allow me to show you some video from that before we move on. He spent a long day with engineers. Oh my God. This is what the day was like for Elon.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point of a meme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And typically you'll like the meme too that you'll post, and so people know where it's coming from.
These belong to the people.
Yeah.
You create your own memes though, don't you?
I saw it create some memes.
Your meme king is strong.
Thank you.
These belong to the internet.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point of a meme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is his long day at Twitter, and he's on his phone. He is always on his he's on Twitter right now, isn't he, this piece of shit?
The meme too that you'll post, and so people know where it's coming from.
These belong to the people.
Yeah.
You create your own memes though, don't you?
I saw it create some memes.
Your meme king is strong.
Thank you.
These belong to the internet.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point of a meme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, once again, I this is the first time I've spoke about Elon because Daddy Elon restored my original Twitter. I'm me on Twitter again, and I'm very appreciative of that. However, I will tell you that I never, ever, ever went to Elon Musk's profile and clicked follow, but I've had to unfollow him. I've had to go unfollow him because I guess when he bought Twitter, everybody just started following Elon. So that is an example of him being surrounded by yes men. That's the kind of work Elon Musk's been doing. He's saying he's putting in these long days at work, but exactly. You can have him blocked and you'll still see him. The Twitter CEO tweeted that problems, which he said caused most of his tweets to be undelivered and accounts with large followings to be dumped, had been mostly addressed. Long day at Twitter headquarters with engineering team. 2 significant problems mostly addressed. Fan out service for following feed was getting overloaded when I tweeted, resulting in up to 95% of my tweets not getting delivered at all. Following is now pulling from search. When fan out crashed, it would also destroy anyone else's tweets in queue. Musk met with the Twitter engineers to discuss the declining view count on his tweets in recent days and reportedly told them he was only getting tens of thousands of impressions. So those are the engineers that he didn't fire. Apparently, the first time he went to engineers to complain about the problem, they told him that fewer people are reading his tweets because people are sick of his shit. The Twitter CEO Elon Musk on Tuesday called a group of advisors into a room at the company's headquarters to determine why his engagement numbers are dropping and fired an engineer who said there was no evidence the algorithm was biased against him. For the past few weeks, Musk has been worried that not enough people are seeing his tweets, even taking his account private last week to see whether it would help the ever-changing algorithm increase his audience. The change came after many prominent right-wing accounts complained that Twitter was limiting their social reach. "This is ridiculous," Musk said in the meeting, according to multiple sources. "I have more than 100 million followers and I'm only getting tens of thousands of impressions." One of the 2 remaining principal engineers at Twitter said that one possible reason for the lower engagement rate was due to public interest in him and his behavior declining. The employees showed Musk internal data and Google Trends charts regarding his account. They explained that last April, Musk's popularity reached its peak in search rankings with a score of 100, and today it sits at just 9. Elon Musk is a fucking idiot. I am so glad I never fell for his bullshit, but I'm not judging you. If in 2009, 2010 you were on the Musk train, it's cool. He had a good marketing team. It's all good. Paid to put himself on Rick and Morty and have fucking Justin Rowland suck his ass. Igloo, good evening. That's a kick in the nuts.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Somebody else who never fell for Elon's bullshit. Taxman, I don't know why the autistic thing is an issue. Who cares if he's autistic or not? He's stupid. It has nothing to do with autism. He is just a really stupid man. He's a really stupid man, and no one should listen to him about anything. Man who is not stupid is Steve Wozniak.
You know, for example, a computer can sit down and play 1 billion games of chess easily and remember everything. No human could ever do that. So a computer can eventually figure out how to be better at chess. So it's following algorithms, it's following little procedures. The trouble is it doesn't have the humanness of the feelings and the emotion.
Woz is talking about AI.
Love. Is it possible to eventually generate some type of higher functioning like something like love in a machine. Do you think it's possible?
After the book Singularity came out, saying when computers would do as much processing with as much memory, Kurzweil, and I loved his later books too.
I'm hopeful for that, that I'm alive, so we can be happy.
But I was convinced that yes, by a certain date, we were going to have computers that had emotions and feelings and could look at your facial expression and read your face and your body positioning and everything, and they were going to be like humans. And Bill Gates came in a couple of years later, and Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking saying similar things. And I said, I'm in good company. And then I decided to change my mind, that all this artificial intelligence type stuff, computers being kind of smart, doing the smartest jobs, doing things you used to do with a brain, all of those were really only going to be doing things that helped humans. And we would still be in control of that. It wouldn't be a machine thinking, what should I do today? See, they aren't going to have that kind of intuition. We're going to program them specifically to solve individual problems, but not the whole life. I mean, look at a car. You're driving along and the car sees the speed limit signs. But if they put one up that has some flashing digits so they can change the speed, it doesn't have any idea what the heck that is.
Kurzweil said that the quantum advances are becoming shorter and shorter, and once we have machine learning is a million times everything humans have learned, that's the singular.
Oh, jazz guitar Jeff.
The brain
Don't give me the big head. I love you very much, but I am far from greatness.
4 billion years.
I don't buy that anymore, though.
But 4 billion years, we're not going to do it even if it's 10,000 years.
Yeah, but a machine would have to sit down and say, well, what can I do to figure out a way to program myself to be better? So you don't think it ever happens?
What changed your mind?
It was largely a statement by a son of mine that is more brilliant than I, that I respect a lot. And I started thinking about it, and I decided, that's right. All this artificial intelligence is helping we humans have something that takes us further. But we're going to have errors too in all these algorithm things. It's like a car can be so smart to do some things. Man, it makes mistakes all the time. I'm talking about my Tesla. And
Tesla released a video and was praising the Tesla's driving. It went down the wrong way. It went down the wrong way of a one-way street and caused another car to hop the curb. And Tesla released that as a promotional video.
And it's a horrible, frightening experience. So what's going to happen with ChatGPT when it makes a few errors, which it will? It's not like a human who sort of recognizes that can't be right. That's not what we really want to communicate. It's going to become part of history that the other ChatGPT study. They're going to know it all. It's on the internet. And it's kind of like when media gets something wrong about you. Right. And if it's a major media like Wall Street Journal, every book and every magazine winds up copying the same story for your whole life.
Kids forget how to learn how to.
I will tell you, I had my first encounter with the chat bot GP, whatever the fuck that's called. I had a client order a series of 30 videos, and I sat and I wrote the scripts for all 30 videos. Now, they're short. They're like 1 minute to 2 minutes. They're just little how-to videos. It's going to be me reading the how to do this on an app, blah, blah, blah. They're very short, simple, to the point. I wrote all these fucking scripts, sent them to my client, and he said, well, why don't we try ChatGPT and see if we can make it more exciting? And it wrote this whole thing about, like, it had characters and shit. It was a boy character and a girl character, and they're talking back and forth. I'm like, this is a screen grab of how to on an app. You want me to create characters? What the fuck? Starting to think my client might be stupid. But anyway, the money still spins. Oh, goddamn. Elon Musk is a fraud. This is one of the former Twitter executives. This is something I missed last week when we were doing the Twitter executives testifying in front of Congress. The former Twitter executives. This is Yoel Roth talking about one of Elon Musk's go-to tactics.
Made the decision to share a defamatory allegation that I support or condone pedophilia. And this lie led directly to a wave of homophobic and anti-Semitic threats and harassment against me. of which Twitter has removed vanishingly little. And following the Daily Mail's decision to publish where I live, ultimately I had to leave my home and sell it. Those are the consequences for this type of online harassment and speech. Elon Musk also made the decision to share a defamatory...
We are 20 years past the time, 25 years, maybe even more, past when we needed Congress to address the idea of our digital data and what we own and what we have a right to. And I'm afraid we may be the cat's out of the bag. That's a genie you can't put back in a bottle. I'm worried about what that means. We need a digital bill of rights and how our data can be used by companies and shit. But that goes back to another problem. We have a geriatric Congress that most of them don't even understand how fucking computers work. Most of them have no idea that Wozniak invented the GUI and shit. So, I don't know. Good luck to your kids. Climate change probably going to destroy everything before then, though. Luckily for them, climate change probably going to destroy everything. Exactly, Tadpole. Speaking of scat, this shithead. Salacious allegations against Epstein associates to be unsealed. Yeah, speaking of Elon Musk, unsealed documents about Jeffrey Epstein associates. A final batch of court documents related to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's associates and salacious allegations against them could be released in the coming weeks, some 4 years after the disgraced financier's death. Documents will name at least one public figure and will be made public within the coming months. The records are likely to reveal hundreds of alleged perpetrators and individuals accused of serious wrongdoings, as well as Epstein's victims and employees. Thousands of court documents unsealed in 2019 revealed claims that Epstein trafficked then-teenager Virginia Giuffre to a U.S. senator, the former governor of New Mexico, a prominent hedge fund manager, and a late longtime MIT professor. Lock them all up. Fuck you, Bill Richardson. Thousands of other pages, like they didn't name the New Mexico governor. It was Bill Richardson. I don't remember who the senator was. Thousands of other pages have remained out of the public since then. However, following Epstein's suicide inside a Manhattan jail cell, Giuffre has pushed for the papers to be made public over the last 4 years. The documents are set to be released because 167 John or Jane Does mentioned in the papers did not object to their names being made public. One of those men allegedly includes disgraced Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his military titles and royal patronage by Queen Elizabeth after Giuffre accused him of sexually assaulting her after Epstein facilitated the introduction. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz was a gigantic piece of shit, already publicly accused of sexual abuse by Giuffre, is also said to be mentioned in the papers. Mox brought up the Dersh. I forget about the Dersh. Alan Dershowitz is one of the biggest pieces of shit walking the planet and needs to be brought to justice. According to the outlet, dozens of individuals are listed as associates of Epstein or former girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence for her role in the sex trafficking scheme. Those lawyers have reportedly pushed back on revealing several of the individuals' identities, claiming there was no evidence to support they were more than friends. No such individual, described as a public figure by her lawyers, was included in the documents because they were included in Epstein's Black Book, which contained phone numbers of more than 1,000 celebrities, politicians, and titans of business. You've shaken Prince Andrew's hand? Fucking, I hope you washed afterwards. Ugh. For those of you who don't know my position on Jeffrey Epstein, saying somebody went in and murdered him is a little... That's a little far-fetched. But allowing him to commit suicide... That jail is known for a high suicide rate. If you're facing charges like he was facing, you're probably more apt to try to commit suicide. So the idea that someone might have went in and killed him is not as appealing to me as the idea that they helped facilitate him doing what he probably should have done. I would absolutely piss in any orifice on Jeffrey Epstein's body. Well, also, the idea that they paid the guards. Those guards in that jail are overworked and are known for malfeasance anyway. So we've got a confluence of a lot of events here. The idea that somebody would kill themselves in a ruthless fucking jail in New York. There is no video, Mox. You are correct. However, the idea that there are several cameras in that jail that don't take video or out of the, like, I'm an Occam's razor kind of guy. Simplest explanation. You could easily facilitate giving him the rope to hang himself with, literally, without actually going in and sending a hitman into the jail. Or it could just be crappy guards in a crappy jail. I'm somewhere in that maybe there's higher ups that help facilitate it, but more than likely it's just a crappy scenario. That's where I land on it. He didn't need any motivation to do what he did facing the charges that he was doing. Enhanced suicide. Thank you, Thread. Enhanced suicide. From literal suicide to career suicide, Roseanne Barr made a joke about Valerie Jarrett, who was a official inside the Obama administration, which was weird to me. Like, weren't we already inside of the Trump administration by the time she's talking about this advisor to Obama? I still don't understand it. Apparently she was on Zoloft or Ambien or something. She's trying to make her comeback now. And full disclosure, I love Roseanne. Not necessarily Roseanne Barr, the person. Roseanne Boomer, as I'm calling her, after I saw a little clip of her special. I love the show. I love the writers on the show. I still watch The Connors. I would love for them to be able to do business and work out a way for her to be able to come on during a Halloween episode and be a ghost. That would be awesome. Perfect. If you guys haven't kept up with it, Katie Seagal is now married to Dan. So you've got Peggy Bundy is took the place of Roseanne. I like that better. I still like Sarah Gilbert. I love Jackie, the woman that plays Jackie. She's amazing. I fucking love her so much. What is her name? It's slipping my mind right now, but I love her. And they've had a great lineup of guest stars. So full disclosure, I like Roseanne. Roseanne Barr, the person, not so much. Here she is with Tucker Carlson promoting her new Fox Nation special.
In a large way. But, so many of other comics have fallen too and can't find work and, have no livelihood because, unless they, are ridiculously sucking up to what the left considers to be, well, the left has no humor at all, so let's be real. They have no sense of humor at all, nor do they have any sense of humor about themselves. Like anybody in power who can't take a joke about themselves, like the person I mentioned, she should have just laughed it off. But instead
did Valerie Jarrett ever make a call or some shit? I think it was just, I mean, it's possible she was an Obama administration official that she called somebody at ABC.
Humor about themselves. Like
I would think the more likely scenario is that she's probably friends with somebody high up at ABC. That would be my guess.
Anybody in power who can't take a joke about themselves, like the person I mentioned, she should have just laughed it off. But instead she called ABC and demanded that I be fired. And so why can't you just laugh at yourself? You know, somebody in power.
Why can't I laugh at you calling me a monkey, Roseanne?
Who can't even laugh at themselves? That's a dangerous human being. And this is what they say Obama's third term, so look around. I think I was pretty right on in my, you know, nobody understood my tweet because they lack the geopolitical background to even understand it. They're like, oh.
No, Valerie Jarrett did not call ABC. The ABC or the Disney president called Valerie Jarrett and apologized. I cannot find anything that Valerie Jarrett called ABC.
She said to him, you know, they're just idiots. So, but in a large way.
No, tax man, you are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. Don't make me break out the utmost authority on comedy.
I would defend to the death his right to do everything he does. The thing that I find unusual, and it's, you know, it's not a criticism so much, but his targets are underdogs. And comedy traditionally has picked on people in power, people who abuse their power. Women and gays and immigrants are kind of, to my way of thinking, underdogs. And, you know, he ought to be careful because he's Jewish. And a lot of the people who want to pick on these kind of groups, the Jews are on that list a little further. You got women, gays, gypsies, blah, 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 and then suddenly you find Jews. And Andrew,
suddenly Andrew's arrested.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, obviously he should do what he wants. And
why does he get away with it, do you think, then?
Well,
we have never laughed at jokes about the
Well,
poor.
he's appealing. I think he's appealing largely. I think his core audience are young white males who are threatened by these groups. I think a lot of these guys aren't sure their manhood because that's a problem when you're going through adolescence. You know, am I really? Could I be? I hope I'm not one of them. And the women who assert themselves and are competent are a threat to these men, and so are immigrants in terms of jobs and the
so that's why we as an audience then will laugh.
You say we. I don't think you're.
I mean, I don't know.
But I think you're
collective we.
I think that's what is at the core of that experience that takes place in these arenas. Is a certain, you know, a sharing of anger and rage at these targets. And I'm sure Andrew isn't that angry at them. I'm sure he's playing it as a comic.
There's the utmost authority on comedy. Telling you, and he goes into it. If you would like to go further into it, the bit is called Funny Rape Jokes. Go to YouTube, Funny Rape Jokes. You can joke about anything. It's all about where you put the exaggeration. Comedy is comedy because of an exaggeration of a truth. So, with that lens, having just heard from George Carlin, let's have about a minute of Roseanne's new comedy special. It is not out yet. We watched the trailer the other night, but we now have a little snippet that we can watch. Let's see if Roseanne is following George Carlin's advice.
No concept of reality. They've been living in a bubble forever. Asking questions have nothing to do with the real world. What is my gender, Mom? What is my gender? Your gender is Get a job. That's your gender. What are they thinking?
And this is sad. She was a working class hero. Her show was groundbreaking.
Ask what is a woman? They don't know that. That one they're asking all the time, what is a woman? I'll tell you what a woman is. A woman is me. That's what a woman is, okay? A woman is someone who cleans up everybody else's That's what a woman is. A woman is somebody whose boobs hang down to her knees with a prolapsed uterus from giving birth to 5 ungrateful little privileged never had to work for anything in their whole damn life. My pronouns are kiss my
That was horrendous. God damn, Roseanne. It is horrible to see how far you've fallen. What in the fuck? That wasn't even funny in any way, shape, or form. I can laugh at right-wing comedy. Even the delivery was bad. The funniest thing I have seen relating to Roseanne was Conure retweeting that and saying, yes, that's what I say about women all the time. Taxman, what the fuck are you talking about? You're like accusing people of being mad and telling us we need to chill, and no one here is mad. What the fuck? The Awaken America tour. That's what she's going on next. Like, I think I calmly explained to you how comedy works. Cited my sources. Well, if you're the one getting mad, then don't you need to be the one calming down? I don't understand it. You confuse me, Matt. Well, let's also what opinion? Well, I don't even know what opinion you're talking about, and I don't think anybody has put you down for your opinion. I mean, the only thing I saw is where you're like comedy punches, and I'm like, no, comedy punches up. Here's the authority on comedy, George Carlin, telling you exactly what to do. Telling you how comedy works. I cited my source on that. I'm correct. Then we watched Roseanne, and that fucking sucked. She's somehow worse than Bill Maher. I don't know if I'll go that. Yeah, she's worse than Bill Maher. She's worse than Bill Maher. But it seems like you're the one that's getting upset about something. You like when people are talking about like I can have opinions. Usually they're saying like they're being attacked for their opinions or something. But you're wrong. Comedy doesn't punch down. I just showed you the authority on comedy explaining that. Okay, if that's your opinion, then your opinion is kind of shit. And the reason why you're able to have that opinion is because you come from a place of privilege. And just like George Carlin said, defend your right to say it, but I don't think you're wrong. And somebody pointing that out, or I think you're wrong, and somebody pointing that out isn't an attack on you. How am I putting words in your mouth? I quoted you. You said comedy just punches. Like it punches up. It attacks power. It attacks people in power. That's what comedy is supposed to do. It's supposed to be subversive. And this is going back to like fucking court gestures in the fucking in fucking medieval times. But like Roseanne wasn't funny because she was like yelling about I don't understand kids. Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworthy. Two very good right-wing comedians. Fucking isn't Ron White. I fucking love Ron White. Isn't he a right-winger? Her job right now seems to be spread right-wing propaganda because she ain't fucking funny. They call me tater salad. She's not fucking funny. And to be honest with you, Roseanne never really was funny. It's the writers. It is the writers on that show. And for those that are unaware, Roseanne is apparently a really horrendous person and always has been. That, like, once you get to season 2 or season 3 of Roseanne, everyone on set dreaded coming to work because she was that fucking horrible. And that checks. That makes sense. But you know, like I wanted to give her a go. I love comedy. I am a student of stand-up comedy. I don't like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby has never appealed to me in any way, but I still watch the stand-up special. I'm probably going to watch Roseanne's stand-up special. And if she has some good material, I'm going to tell you that I enjoyed it. Kinsai, good evening. I don't know what you're upset about, Taxman. You seem bothered by something? And I don't get it. I don't get what has upset you. Perhaps you need to step back and chill. %10 chance she doesn't have even one funny. I mean, if it's an hour of her doing that, then I'm not going to enjoy it. You said comedy punches. Okay, cool. You said that. No one got upset with you for saying that. But then I'm like, comedy challenges authority. And I played you the utmost authority on comedy. And now I don't know why you're still hung up on it. So you can be like Andrew Dice Clay, and you can make fun of gay people, and you can make fun of the trans community. You can do that. It's your right. My chat did not come at you. Warp Sync, you are not the utmost authority on comedy. Who hit misogyny? What happened? Where in the fuck? That's Art Modicool. You may have not been here. Kenzai, I'm sorry. I didn't even... Usually I try to... Well, she's a she. Matt the Taxman is a she. She could very well be on her period. You guys might know her better as Tocahontas. She called in the other day. That's Matt the Taxman. And if you want to give her a shout out, please do. Shout out Matt the Taxman. Well, Kensai, I usually try to catch them and play them all at one time, so nobody has to deal with it. Simp apologizes for timing you out. They thought you were being misogynistic, Matt. Yeah, I like to play the commercials all at once, and nobody misses any content, and nobody has to get any pre-rolls or anything when they come in. I like doing it that way. But we're gonna try to land this plane so I can get out of here. Have one of these burgers Curious are made for the Super Bowl, the Superb Owl, if you prefer that pronunciation. And I'm gonna watch Riri. Very much looking forward to watching Riri. Hopefully the NFL has already posted it. But it could be like tomorrow before it gets posted on YouTube. I'm gonna be really sad if I can't go ahead and watch it. Was it on Peacock? Was the Super Bowl on NBC? I've got Peacock. We went over those He Gets Us ads the other day. The organization behind those. If it's on Peacock, I can go back and watch it. Congrats to the New York Saints. Oh, shit. All right, so there's been, speaking of communities that, you know, people like to try to punch at in comedy, let's talk about the trans community. There's this whole debate about the Hogwarts game and whether you should play it or not. Watched a video about, you know, like game ranks or something about some of the cool things about the game. I think yes, James Acaster. We actually watched that one the other day. When we did stand-up comedy overnight, we watched James Acaster. I don't care if you play the fucking game or not. This is capitalism. To not play the game is to punish a lot of people who worked on it that I'm sure are fantastic people. I'm not into Harry Potter, so like I don't have a dog in this fight. The game looks cool. J.K. Rowling is a piece of shit. I'll probably eventually play the game, but I'll get it. Most games I get very cheap later on, or I get them for free on PlayStation Plus or something. It looks fun as fuck. I love RPGs. I don't know that I would call Rihanna self-made, but yes, Rihanna is fucking cool. She is a badass. I'm on Team Riri. The idea that anyone is self-made is kind of absurd to me, but that's a topic for another day. But I wanted to provide you guys with this. I'm going to hit you with it in the chat. If you bought the game and you're, goddamn, my chat's fucking up again. If you bought the game and you're feeling bad about it, do this. Here is a bundle of trans witch games that you can buy from indie creators. So if you would rather support small-time trans indie creators and have games that are kind of in the same vein, I present you with this bundle. It's 8 games. You can support people in the trans community. You can support indie developers. And you can stick it to the man. This is kicking authority in the balls.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
So if you want some yin and yang, you want to balance it out, you bought Hogwarts. I did just link it. Here, let me link it again. If you bought Hogwarts and you want to balance out the universe, or if you would like to support creators that aren't J.K. Rowling. Either way, I don't judge you if you played the Hogwarts. I don't judge you if you're playing it right now. Don't care at all, because, I mean, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. There's any fucking product I go in here into the kitchen and grab has some form of exploitation. There's some form of blood. So, to condemn somebody for playing a video game, just not my style. Might be playing with this dick, though, that's for sure.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I don't even remember what I grabbed here. All right. Gotta do a Super Bowl story, right? It's Super Sunday. Super Troll Day. We gotta do at least a Super Bowl related story. I gotta bring Super Bowl football into the world of politics. We get out of here. This asshole, and just look at him. He looks like Alan Coulter. Alan Coulter from The Late Show. With a K. I misspelled it. Coulter. He looks like Alan Coulter from The Late Show. This was the announcer on The Late Show with David Letterman. This is a multi-millionaire from Michigan.
Businessman Perry Johnson,
who
ran for governor last year, is throwing his hat into the biggest political ring of them all, a run for president. Johnson will be running ads in Iowa, which will...
He has said something to this fucking TV station. Or the graphics guy or something, because, like, who decided to use that picture of him? If I was the graphics guy at that TV station, I would have just put up a picture of Alan Coulter. Not even told anybody.
Will remain a first-in-the-nation caucus for the GOP. Grant Herm spoke to Johnson today. Grant, he's got a new book, and he says he's ready to run.
Kimberly, he certainly does. He'll be airing these ads during the Super Bowl, which is how he made his announcement for governor here just last year. Now, he says he's got this plan that he wanted to introduce in Michigan, but now he wants to spread that across the country. Michigan millionaire and failed candidate for governor setting his sights on the White House. Perry Johnson.
Maybe he looks a little more like, he looks like Danny Bonaducci fucked Joel Osteen. Danny Bonaducci fucked Joel Osteen, and this is the satanic hell spawn. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun of somebody's looks. Here I am talking about comedy doesn't punch down. Here I am making fun of the way the dude looks.
He wanted to introduce in Michigan, but now he wants to spread that across the country. Michigan millionaire and failed candidate for governor setting his sights on the White House. Perry Johnson is running nearly $200,000 worth of ads during the Super Bowl in 3 Iowa TV markets.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I thought he was running 2 million, and I thought they were nationwide.
In an interview Friday from his office in Troy, Johnson explaining his choice.
Well, we know the Democrats have kind of given the middle finger to Iowa, but we know for the Republicans, that's where everything starts. And that's the beginning of the Republican caucuses, and I'm going to start everything there.
Johnson, who
Great capitalist idea is to utilize the tremendous foreheads for the selling of ad space. Matt Gaetz, we're coming for you.
His campaign had filed forged signatures to make the ballot. He says he's not worried that would follow him in a presidential campaign.
No, not really. As a matter of fact, in reality, the candidates have very little to do with any of this. You hire a consultant, they go out and they get the petitioners.
And then there's the expected field of candidates in a GOP primary. Former Governor Nikki Haley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is expected to announce soon, and of course, former President Donald Trump. But despite that, Johnson thinks he has an edge.
I think I'm the only one that does have a plan. Do they have a plan to solve this problem? My 2 cents to save America gives you a detailed plan.
I've got a plan to solve the problem. Oh, of course his plan is we need to shrink government and let Americans keep more of their money.
Kind of exactly what we're going to do to get back on track.
See, buddy, I hate to tell you, but the way to solve the problem that we're in right now is to tax you way more. You should not have $200,000 to spend. An average. He does kind of look like he's 9 years old. I'm sorry.
Now, we also learned late this afternoon that Johnson will continue to buy ads in Iowa and New Hampshire through March 3rd. That will make him the leading spender in the presidential primary so far. In Detroit, Grant Herms, Local 4.
Okay, we'll be watching it. Grant, we appreciate it.
Local forehead. I'm sorry, he didn't have a forehead. He had a boggin on. They used it too. Oh, it's the same station. My bad. PP Girl 420. Speaking of PP, I would give anything in the world to piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. The Jaws ad for Back to the Future. We've still not got any. We've got holographic technology. By the way, we're past that date. We're past that. It was 2023. It was like January 2023 when he went to the future. We're past that date. We're further in the future than Marty McFly went into the future. All right. Hopefully I got a video to go with this, but this is gonna be your heartwarming animal story. Bigger Chungus 420. And I think it was like 2022 or 2023. Hold on. Oh, it was 2015. Oh, my bad. Holy shit. It was October 21st, 2015. We are way past it. Well, I'm an idiot. Thank you for correcting me. I was smoking crack.
I was on crack.
Right.
Soup. Welcome. Somebody shout Soup out. One of my favorite people in the world. Taco-ish. What is up, my friend? I feel all your wishes with my taco-flavored kisses. I was getting ready to get out of here, but I'm gonna have to do like another story or two. My name is JustinFREAKIN. I can't leave on a raid. Been waiting to try to go have a burger that Curiouser cooked for the Super Bowl and watch the Riri concert, but we'll save it for a little later. Can't leave on a raid. For those of you who may not know me, my name is JustinFREAKIN. We do the news Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh no, it's totally cool, Soup. It's totally cool. I've made it this long. I can wait another 10 minutes for a burger. F for Justin's burger. Oh, I assume she probably went ahead and put them in the fridge. I'll have to reheat those. For those of you who've never been around me, I would describe my political views as whatever lets me piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. Give me that eye pussy, sir. We like to kick authority in the balls around here.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
And we're really bad at math.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
So, all right, I do a very structured news show where we go over all the news of the day and everything, but now we're on overtime. The Super Bowl didn't go into overtime, did it? Came close? The Chiefs won, apparently. We've I've already done all those stories. Let me go find something from my reservoir of saved stories. Here's one. I got a couple of stories like this. Let's do this. I keep talking about this structure. Yeah, when Jake was in here the other night and I went completely off the rails and I told him he would have to... He talked too much on his show and got too off topic. And then I was like, no, I can do it because I'm on Twitch. Seriously, guys, I have a structured show. I can show you the goddamn fucking rundown.
Weighs in on the best ways to help.
Oh, shut up. I didn't hit play on you yet. This is the rundown of Mega the Show, Stuff in the Sky, Schumer on the balloons, Matrix lasers were Chinese, Turkey earthquake. I misspell a lot of stuff as well. Oh my god, that dude getting shot in the head with the crossbow. What a wild story we did. Alright. Try to figure out where this happened here. A first responder intentionally crashes their car after the accelerator gets stuck and they survived. They're driving a 2006 GT Mustang and clocking in at 110 miles per hour. Well, let me tell you something. Were you going 110 miles per hour when the accelerator got stuck, or was that what the accelerator got stuck and that's what you got up to? Let me hold off on my judgment. Happened in Noonan, Georgia. An off-duty first responder survived a terrifying crash after his accelerator got stuck while driving in Noonan. This happened on Christmas Eve. Do we have video? Yes.
Only on 11 Alive, a first responder finds himself behind the wheel, speeding out of control. His accelerator got stuck, forcing him to crash his car just to stop. It was a nightmare, as you can imagine. The good news here, he survived.
Terrifying. He spoke with our Caitlin Ross about one of the scariest moments of his life, and an expert weighs in on the best ways to help you stop safely.
James Benefield responds to 911 calls as an EMT, but off-duty on Christmas Eve, he called in crisis.
You can't stop your car?
The call cuts off, but witnesses describe the aftermath.
It looks like it exploded.
I never lost consciousness, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, incredibly, James survived. His most serious injury was a dislocated...
I am glad Post Malone made it through. I really enjoy your music, sir. Very happy you're okay.
The call cuts off, but witnesses describe the aftermath.
It looks like it exploded.
I never lost consciousness, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, incredibly, James survived. His most serious injury was a dislocated thumb, but the car he was driving was totaled. He says the accelerator got stuck all the way down, open throttle.
It was terrifying. It was definitely one of
Okay, doesn't look like Post Malone there. I'm sorry.
the scariest experiences of my life.
But does look like a man who knows how to rock a mustache. We have pointed out awesome mustaches on this show over the last few weeks.
He clocked the speedometer at 110 miles an hour when he realized he would have to crash.
My mind went was that I was going to die, but I didn't want to take anybody else with me.
He aimed the car for a large empty parking lot in Noonan where it flipped 5 times, and the jaws of life had to pull him out.
I was sure I was going to die.
After surviving the crash, he struggled to wrap his mind around what happened.
Can you turn off the car? Like, if it's a, there's not a lot of stick shifts. Can you just grab the fucking, like, I don't know what a new car would be like. I've only drove stick in my life. I don't know what an automatic's like. Can you do that while you're driving though in a newer car? I have no idea how that would work.
People he talked to had never heard of the accelerator getting stuck down. But 11 Alive found Ford and Toyota have both had recalls over the same issue in the past 20 years.
Yes, it's actually happened to me.
Car service manager Carrie Sutton was driving a Ford Explorer when the accelerator got stuck.
I still panicked, and it's a very human thing to do.
She's studied the car defect since then and says there's 3 things every driver needs to know.
Take both feet and press them down on the brake pedal hard. Shift that car into neutral. Once you've got the car into neutral, get the car to a safe area.
Well, it is rare. She says remembering those 3 points can save your life in an emergency.
Just remember, brake, 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 both feet hard, neutral, get off the road.
I love this woman.
We're looking at the car James was driving that day to try and figure out how the accelerator got stuck. Even though it was a devastating crash, he escaped with only a dislocated thumb.
Brake both feet.
I shouldn't judge based on looks, but I feel like she will fix your car and then she's going to come home and make you a badass dinner. And then she also doesn't take shit from anyone. I love this woman. I shouldn't judge by looks, though. Should not judge by looks. There's no video. If there was video, we'd do this right now. I would like to point this out. I cover electoral politics, criminal justice, and workers' rights, pretty much in that order. That's what we do here on this show. I want to point this story out. Nintendo responds to falling profits with a 10% raise for Japanese staff. The move contrasts with widespread layoffs in Western tech companies. Good on you, Nintendo. I've got my beef with Nintendo on a lot of things. I really wanted Nintendo to go out of business here 10, 15 years ago and just become a third-party game developer. But I mean, if you're going to do business like this, then I'm going to support you. As tech companies respond to a tough economic environment by laying off huge number of staff, including Microsoft with a significant impact on its gaming division, Nintendo is heading the other way. Despite lowering its profit and sales forecast in its most recent round of financial results, Nintendo is promising a 10% salary increase to all of its staff in Japan. According to Reuters, Nintendo president Shintaro Furukawa told an earnings call on Tuesday that it's important for our long-term growth to secure our workforce. What a novel idea. In the context of the actions of Western tech CEOs in recent months, this seems like a surprising move. Sales of Switch hardware and games continues to be strong as the console nears its 6th birthday. It is now officially the 3rd best-selling game console of all time. I want one eventually, but Nintendo's net sales and profits are down while hardware sales are declining quite sharply for the 2nd year in a row. Nintendo blames supply issues and exchange rates for its disappointing performance. Its stock price fell by 7.5%, biggest drop in over a year. So hell yeah, Nintendo. Base Nintendo up in here. Did you know that the horses aren't woke?
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Horses aren't woke. At least this is what Seb Gorka says. I have no clue what this video is, but we're going to find out together.
Mounted police force. Oh, I don't like the colour. Don't like the colour. Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Don't like the color. Horses are probably colorblind. They probably only see shades of shit. They just don't know what's in the fucking... Horse cops are afraid of gay too.
Mounted police force. Oh.
They just see something on the sidewalk.
Colour. Don't like the colour.
I would assume.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Is it, my friend? They actually see yellow and blue the best, but cannot recognize red. One study showed that horses can easily tell blue, yellow, and green from gray, but not red. Horses also have difficulty separating red from green.
Mounted police force. Oh, I don't like the colour. Don't like the colour.
This is apparently how equine, the color vision spectrum for equines is. Interesting. Learn something new every day.
Mounted police force. Oh, I don't like the colour. Don't like the colour.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with horses being homophobic or some shit. But as we say many times around here, right-wingers are morons. And as I always do, we end with animals. Usually this show is just a parade of the most horrendous stories from across the internet, like a dude getting a crossbow stuck in his fucking head. Getting a crossbow stuck in his head is the wrong way to put that, because somebody put the crossbow there. He didn't just get it stuck in his head. Somebody shot him in the fucking head with a crossbow. But after all the horrendous shit that I put you guys through, I try to always do animals. A cat returned to the shelter for being too affectionate is now thriving in a new home. Very excited to leave the shelter again. Bruno, a buff-colored tabby in New Jersey, went viral late last month after the Montville Animal Shelter posted on Facebook about the cat's adoption and subsequent return. So you can see where Bruno was adopted, and then they had to update it. Sad news, Bruno came back after only 1 week. The family never had a cat before and said he was too affectionate. Always wanted to sit on their laps, follow them around, and headbutt them for kisses and pets. He was also too playful and got zoomings every evening. Look at this baby. Well, he's just a teenage cat. Like, he's a little scrawny. I'd say he's on the younger side. 3-4 years old. Wants to play, wants to be loved on. Bruno loves to be petted, likes to cuddle. Look at that baby. Oh. Shelter also wrote that Bruno was too playful. Oh, wait a minute. That's not... I thought we were going to get video of him. But Bruno's big personality made him the perfect pet for another couple in the state. The couple, identified by their first names, told NorthJersey.com in a story published Friday that they first saw Bruno online before the animal shelter's Facebook post went viral. Here we get video.
Bruno on the Montville's Pet Finder. And, you know, it was just a cat out over there, and we loved his personality. And we applied for him, and then few hours later, the post blew up, and he was everywhere. So we were lucky enough to get him.
He's a playful 2-year-old.
He's 2.
He's kind of in his teenage years still, so he's super, rambunctious. He gets zoomies all the time, and loves catnip.
Mm-hmm. Loves catnip. Look at it tail.
Very soft but firm headbutts whenever you're not giving him enough attention.
Definitely not overly affectionate. He's the perfect amount of affection. He's like a dog in a cat, always looking for attention, always loving, but can never be overly loving.
Right.
He's an awesome cat.
Are you happy with us?
I think Bruno is very happy with you. I think Bruno has a loving family, and that warms my heart.
And we found Bruno on the
That warms my cold, cold, dark heart.
And you know, it was just a cat out over there, and we loved his personality, and we applied for him, and then few hours later, the post blew up, and he was everywhere. So we were lucky enough to get him.
He's a playful 2-year-old
Once again, guys, thank you for joining me tonight.
still, so he's super.
I didn't expect to have everybody here tonight, and there was more than everybody. There was more than everybody.
And also loves to give very.
Warms my cold heart with a cool island song. Well, I thought we were gonna warm his icy heart with a.
The perfect amount of affection. He's
Thaw his icy heart with a. I'm fucking it up.
Always looking for attention, always loving, but can never be over.
If you are watching on Twitch,
he's an awesome cat.
Get ready to enter the now space. We're gonna go hang out with producer Dave.
And we found.
Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. That burger looked awesome. I seen it earlier, and it fucking looked amazing. I've been thinking about that meat the entire time we've been doing this.
Blew up, and he was everywhere.
Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night.